Now, Lost, in like 35 years, you're gonna be an old man on your porch with your rocking chair, and you're gonna be like, whatever happened to that green guy I used to watch? You know, I wish I was nicer to him. You know, this isn't gonna happen. That is what we call copium. Anyway, hopefully I'll still be streaming by that time, but we shall see. Alright, so I did some free quests, and we get this 10 SQ for beating 20 free quests. And we get our login reward here, so we can do a 10 roll. Alright. I got our Mystic Code to 6 from 5, which is a very minor bonus, but that's something, and we need every bit of help we can get. See, if I could have taken it from 5 to 10, that might have made a substantial difference. But I did not do that. And Gambler, thank you for the 18-month resub. And again, Mr. Isa, thank you for the also 18-month resub. We're coordinated here. Alright, I also got some mana prisms from doing dailies, but I don't think enough to do much. Well, we'll buy 2 of these because we need to get so much more damage. Alright, let's see if we got enough FP to get Charlotte one time. We need like 1 Charlotte. Between getting rank 6 on the Mystic Code and then getting 1 more Charlotte for the NP rank. There we go. That was easy. But I'm hoping that will somehow be enough damage. It'll certainly help. It's not gonna hurt. Wow, we didn't have St. George. Not that we can use him, but good guy right there. Hey, Red. Always like that duck emote. And we'll roll story. Maybe we get 4 copies of Alexander somehow. You know, if we actually get the heal, the heal thing, we could give that to Boudica. Maybe that's enough for her to do a little better against Medea. Oh, hey, there we go. Salome. Awesome. Boy, these FP rolls actually turned out pretty good. Let's see. That is the wrong menu. Alright, we got our special ascension, but we can't really use that right now. Oh, this UI. Why is the Noble Phantasm that far down? Will that be able to save us? Okay, she is way stronger now. That's really good. Oh yeah, there's a survey. Forgot about that. I've asked for story replay every single survey. Not that it's ever gonna happen, but one must try. Almost got 2 10 rolls. Kinda sad that we don't. Okay, so her attack stat is going up by 100. She's got an extra NP rank, and our Mystic Code does like 1% more damage. The only other thing I could think of is boosting somebody's skills, like Black Bart's. Yeah, let's do it. Like, we gotta get a bit more damage. We needed like 20k more damage last time or something. If only Black Bart and Alex weren't sharing a class, we could do a bit more there. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Every bit of damage. Let's see. I think we already leveled Charlotte's skill as much as we could, yeah. I tell you what though, is if it happens to be Assassin daily, I might, damn it, I would probably grab enough to up it at least one more time. Alright, we'll roll the gacha, and then we're off to the grind. So if we get like any copies of Alexander, that would be great, but if we could get like 4 of them, that would be really good. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Not exactly nice, but still a rare prism. Not allowed, unfortunately. Man, we're gonna get more Armored Core music. I'm so excited. That's not Alex! Look at all these 3 stars and we got a writer. God damn it. At least we got Jeweled Sword though. Like even one Alex, like I don't think it'd be enough for me to be able to do what Cairo did, but one Alex would make the setup that I'm doing right now better, just because he is going to NP, and if it does more damage. Oh, there's Billy. Oh, baby. Oh, there we go. Chat, we did it. We beat the game. There we go. That'll help. I don't know if we have a unit to slap it on right now that'll be that good on, but just in future, that's going to be really helpful. And it's got an attack stat on it, so. Alright, let's burn what we need to burn, and then see if we can get more foe items. Okay, that's banned. That's banned. Silver XP is probably not worth it. I see you lost. Alright. Or Mozart being banned, but he'd be way too strong. Alright, that's gotta go. I think that's it down here. Oh, Curse Arm. Alright, can we get any more foe items? One. We got one more foe item. Alright, let's see if we can level K-Scope. Because it's more attack than the Ilya one. Okay, we're probably not going to use that. Never liked her anyway. Not going to use that. Might use the caster one. These are pointless though. That's pointless. That was the first craft essence I ever got, by the way. What's her name? Shirley? I didn't burn Covering Fire, did I? Not that we're probably going to use it either, but I don't think I burned that one. Alright, is there any way for that CE to help out what we're doing? I'm not sure, because I feel like everyone's going to get their NP anyway. The Black Bart, I think, is the one that struggles to get it, so we could give it to him. Although he doesn't get as much out of the attack stat, but... Oh, right, we're not using our Alex, we're using Cairo's Alex. So... Yeah, me getting NP ranks on Alex wouldn't matter. Now, I could change Jason to someone with K-Scope, but I don't know if there's anyone left on the team that really does any damage, because our Alex is NP1. If our Alex was like NP2, at least I'd give him K-Scope and maybe that would do enough, but we might just have to give it to her just so her attack stat's slightly higher. How much does it go up by? Let's see. So she's at 4-6. That's a very minor buff. That's not great. But between that and the NP rank and everything else, maybe it's enough damage. This is still gonna be RNG as fuck. Like, we're gonna need such good luck at the start. I don't know, maybe we give it to Black Bart. Either that or we give it to Alex. Yeah, sadly, I don't think K-Scope's gonna really help here. I don't think it'll make any difference. It'll make a difference, though, if I get one more unit that can do decent damage. I could try giving it to Jin K. I wonder if she'd... I feel like it's likely that she would show up and then instantly die. Like, she'll get NP'd. But maybe the timing doesn't go that way. One team cost off. Could cut this off MASH, but that's not ideal. Let's see, if Jin-K can somehow NP with that, maybe this works. So if this setup, even if it gets really, really lucky, if it's still not enough, the only other thing we could really do is get Alexander NP ranks, which that would do it, but that's so random, there's no controlling that. But the other thing we could do is level up the Mystic Code. If this thing was 10, that's probably enough damage, because from 5 to 10, you do gain a decent amount. That CE has the same effect as Imaginary Round. It's just, instead of split stats, it's attack stat. Which is fine, I just don't like that they got rid of Imaginary Round, because if you were like about to limit break it, you can't now. Also, having 2 of them in the Gacha would have just boosted your odds of getting one of them. Like if you had Cope Scope, K-Scope, Imaginary Element, and the Ilya one, the odds of a new account at least getting one high starting in PCE is quite high, and that's really good. At least though they kept K-Scope when they added Cope Scope. People would have lost their minds if they got rid of that. Okay, great opening hand. That is exactly what we want to see. Who has the worst NP gain? I'm not really sure, to be honest, but Charlotte's the most important. We'll do it like... Okay, Charlotte already has one of her quick cards. So... But Alex and Black Bart, which are the 2 I'm worrying about, they both have both of their quick cards left, so it doesn't... Their order doesn't really matter. So, I guess I'll do it like this just for damage. Hey, Rabbit. It's gonna be really random if we can get everyone's NP in time before someone dies. How much damage this guy does. Okay, he didn't do a damn thing there. I guess I do... Bart quick. If the boss attacks once and doesn't crit because it doesn't kill anyone, I think everyone will get their NP here, but Charlotte might be cutting it close if she didn't get anything right there. Damn it, any crit. Nah, that's GG. If he crits like that, it's pretty much over. And Charlotte didn't even get her NP. And getting all 3 of them to NP is honestly pretty unlikely. Hard to keep them alive. What would help though is if everyone had health foes. That would be a big boost. What sucks is that the upcoming event we can't do, so this account's gonna have a hard time getting pro items early on. Also, if all of them NP, we're gonna need probably high rolls, especially on Charlotte. Because I know we're pushing it so hard on damage here. Okay, got a Brave Chain again. So Black Bart is missing a quick card, so we'll put Black Bart's art card second this time. He's less likely to get NP later. So we do it like that. More even spread that way anyway. And he crit. That's probably GG. I don't think he has that good of a crit chance from what I've seen, but it can happen. And there's a pretty good chance Alex wouldn't get his NP here anyway, because basically because he crit, the only way we live is if the boss only attacks one time and it's not a crit, and if the boss attacks one time, I don't think Alex can get his NP. Well, yeah, you gotta, because you gotta have Black Bart hit everybody. Black Bart's gotta land the buff on everybody. Yeah, that sucks, but, well, I guess we can let it go another turn in case we get really lucky and somehow nobody dies, but that does not seem probable. Don't do it! It's probably gonna kill Alex. Oh, just barely didn't. Lucky, lucky. Although, unlucky that we needed that turn to happen in the first place, but, okay, Charlotte is fucked. Which is not ideal. Okay, so Black Bart first because he does defense down. I guess Alex last because he's the only one that has an overcharge that actually matters. Still, this is gonna make Podika show up too soon. There's just not enough survivability. Controller, Juna Alter. Both of those fights are fairly fun. 69k though, that is a bit better than what we saw yesterday. If I wonder if on a high roll if we could get to like 670, like 3 or something. We really need that. Oh god, because if I had my own Alex like that, his damage is pretty good. And look at that, he fucks up Medea. So if my Alex was like that, I could do double mash. I think we would be set. But my Alex does like 11k damage because he's stupid. The only way I see this being a W is if somehow Charlotte gets her NP again, and then Jin K gets her NP. That is, and unfortunately, like I thought, the NP timing is just like impossible to work with here. I guess you have to save Jin K. Yeah, I needed to get to that point without evading Charlotte, and you need to invulnerability Jin K or Charlotte, probably Charlotte for the battery, and then evade Jin K. And then have them both NP. That will probably, if somehow that can, I think that can happen with really good luck. I think that would be a win if that just miraculously came to pass. Especially if like on this turn you get lucky crits. Man, and Jin K's only NP1. See, if Jin K was NP2, she'd actually do, oh my god, she gets the stupid, maybe we need to do Jason, but then Jason wouldn't be able to survive. Because that NP down is fairly meaty from what I've seen. And at NP1, you can't really afford that. Yeah, it's just numbers, like we just need, you know, like NP ranks that aren't ass. I mean, I've literally already talked about Faker way before she was added, and we already knew exactly how they were going to add her, and we already talked about all of that, so I'm not going to go into that for the 30th time. Like, everybody knew she was going to get added eventually, and she wasn't going to be a Faker, she was going to be a Pretender. We already knew this, and stupid, and blah 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 blah. Like, Overim should be a Faker, not a Pretender. There's no reason for them to make a new class. Well, we pretty much have to do 37k a turn sooner. That's like the only way, because you can't, the Demon God cannot touch Boudica. Like if it does, it's over. I'm just so annoyed that Cairo got NP5 Alex and I have NP1 when I think you need like NP3. Like I don't think you even need NP5. Well, I don't know. Like it's close. It's dumber than Voyager though, because Voyager, they didn't add Space Adventurer for some new unit, right? Like if for Voyager to be as bad, what they would have had to have done is they would have had to have added like a Russian probe and made a new class for it called like Space Probe or Space Adventurer, a new class. And then when they get around to adding Voyager, they made him Space Adventurer instead. That's what happened with Faker, right? Like obviously if you add the Russian probe, that should just be Voyager, right? Just like when you added Vortigern, he should have just been Faker, right? Like they already had the class established. So why make that class years ago and then instead of using it, make another new one, right? Like that's just stupid. And the only reason they did it was hype. I mean, that's the whole reason they make all these ridiculous, pointless classes. Because like making Vortigern a pretender gets people way more excited than if he's a Faker, because we already know about Faker. Can you stop critting, my guy? Like, Jesus. There's like no winning when that happens. The only way you can like win if that happens is if he just miraculously doesn't attack. And Alex isn't getting enough, so... Yeah, we might need to give someone K-Scope on the front row, but... we'll see. So Alex could live there if you get lucky, like it's in the low high roll range of the enemy attacks. I wonder if there's something better I could summon from Cairo, but the thing is I think we need to do damage to what's-her-face, Medea Lily. Like, Boudica can do a lot, but she can't just do everything, so... Because the thing is, Alex is way better than, ultimately, Charlotte, just because he does comparable damage if he's the one that gets the attack up, and then he's hitting both, and that matters. And so if Alex NPs twice, that's just a lot of value, but there's no way I can keep Alex alive that long. At least not my Alex, because if I well, no, I could keep my Alex alive that long, but he wouldn't do enough damage. That's the problem. He's NP1. Where I could keep, yeah, I could keep mine alive with double mash, but I don't think I could keep Cairo's alive. I don't know, maybe if he got crazy lucky and we do like Jason mash and just the boss is a moron, like maybe we could make that work, but I'm skeptical. Alright, let's see. They both have their quick cards left. I think I'll do Blackguard second, because I think he has lower NP gain, so it seems to work out better that way. No crit, just do a normal attack, you bastard! I like how you actually can't tell it's the same animation if he crits or doesn't crit. Guess, day one FGO stuff. What do we do here? Guess that is the best for everyone. So he needs to attack but not crit. Because if he crits, he might kill Alex. They're very close. Damn it, he didn't attack at all. Let's see. So now we need him to... He needs to attack but not crit. And not double attack. Although I guess I could no, I gotta do the Brave Chain. Okay, so yeah, we don't actually need him to attack. He can either, okay, he needs to double buff or debuff, or attack once and not crit. One of those two things. If he crits, we're fucked. If he double attacks, we're fucked. So, yeah, we got a few issues here. Okay, we'll go for damage. We can't crit next turn because we're gonna try to triple NP. If we don't triple NP, we're fucked anyway. Like, when you shoot the cannons at the deck where the demon god is standing so he falls into the water? Okay, well, he didn't kill anyone, so that's good. Okay, that's nice. Just everyone high roll. Everyone high roll. And hell, Charlotte, if you want to insta death while you're at it, that would be great. At least we're delaying Medea Lily's NP by 1 turn, so her next NP is delayed a turn. I couldn't see the damage. Okay, that's exactly the same as last time. At least Blackbark does defense down man, so he's contributing. Okay, Medea's kind of fucked up. If we can actually kill the damn demon god quickly, it'd be alright. Alex does pretty well there. So, I guess I do this, and somehow Charlotte needs to get her NP again. Charlotte, you got a crit, girl. You have a higher chance to crit than not, so if we could go with a statistically likely outcome. There you go. Alright, that's something. Okay, now death. Right, NP down. That's a problem there. Medea, can you just not? Like, you're killing a tumor. Ugh. 65. If we didn't have that NP down, I'd be feeling a lot better right now. Also, if we had a better hand, I'd be feeling better right now. Why couldn't Jin-K get a quick card there? He has quite a few of them. Don't. Medea, give me NP on the right unit. There you go. Don't kill me. 96%? Well... I guess we quick chain. If she had her NP, we would have killed it. I just realized, I'm pretty sure if Charlotte had her NP, we would have killed it there. Because it doesn't have that much. I don't know, it would have been close, but yeah, probably. Fuck. I mean, it means it's possible at least. Don't kill Charlotte. Don't kill Charlotte. Don't kill Charlotte. The problem is Charlotte has NP down. You have to kill like right here. I don't think I evade on Charlotte because Charlotte's bad after this. Okay, Charlotte, just you know, don't miss the crit, please. No. Oh no. If the demon god lives, we lose. He does so much damage. Charlotte, you had 70%. Come on. What are we doing here? 15. Okay, I think. Oh, thank God. We have a chance, chat. We just need Medea to kill Charlotte really fast. Like, just kill her right now. Like, just blast her. No, that's not blasting. Okay, give me like fucking all. We had all Bodoku's cards last turn. Hit the one with the bonnet. Because I don't want her dying to the dot, because then you still get the negative of like Charlotte taking the cards, and you don't get the positive of her eating up one of the boss's attacks. So I need Medea to do it. I guess I quick chain, although it's really important that I get Bodoku's NP. But I think we'll do a quick chain anyway. Come on, kill Charlotte. Kill Charlotte. Do it. You're not doing it. Come on. What the fuck, lady? Great, now she dies to the dot. So we get all the negatives and none of the positives. Fucking phenomenal. No crit. Okay, there we go. Oh, use those shitty animations to fuck up the boss. Charlotte, fuck you. That was, I mean, okay, she did her job, but like, really? She took so many cards from me. And, you couldn't even take one hit from the boss. Although I guess that's not Charlotte's fault. That's, Medea Lilies. This ungrateful streamer. Okay, I like these crits. Okay, I think we have this. Because we still have guts. And then we have heal. Oh my god, I legit don't think this would have worked if we didn't do all that little stuff of like getting Charlotte's NP rank and then getting the few foe items and the Mystic Code up. Like Charlotte barely killed on that turn, like barely. So if we hadn't done all those tiny things, I don't think it would have killed there and we would have lost. So that's the I think absolutely necessary. Alright, we win here no matter what. There's nothing Medea can do. Nice try, nerd. And she probably couldn't kill us this turn anyway. Because we have the defense up and the heal. Yeah, she wouldn't be able to kill us. Woo! I am so glad that is over with. That team probably could have been slightly better, but we did not have a lot of options. Because most of the units that were like obvious picks were MP1, so... I guess another way that could have been easier though is if Jin K was in P2. That probably would have been better than if Alex was in P2. Because we had Kairos. If we didn't have Kairos though, we would have to have our own Alex. Like, Alex was definitely important there. Yep, London time. This is going to be a catastrophe, but we got to level up some. Cairo, if you're able, go ahead and start leveling your boys. It'll make free quests and everything easier, so... I'm sure you were annoyed with having to keep your units at 30 and the wait time there. I don't know if we have enough SQ to roll or not. We'll see. Man, Charlotte was definitely the MVP there, though. She definitely did. Well, I don't know. Alex was still really good. Like, he fucked up the boss and he fucked up Medea Lily. But Charlotte did the most damage to the demon god. Oh, right. You get that. I forgot about that. Alright. Bloody London. Come on, game. Give me like Caneth CD. She's cool, but not allowed. Okay, that's good. That is definitely good. We have uses of that. If only Valkyrie was in. We honestly probably could have allowed Valkyrie, Cairo. I don't think we even thought about it, but I think we could have allowed Valkyrie, because without Scatty, she is nothing special. Like, holy crap, she is nothing special. And we have so many AoE Lancers, she wouldn't have done much, but a little late on that one. Nothing else of note here. I guess Geronimo's good, though. Yeah, we could, I don't want to reevaluate right now, though, because it feels like, you know, we're just, like, cheating. I mean, it's too soon for that. But yeah, we did kind of gloss over a few of them. Yeah, I won't burn Valkyrie for now, because we might allow her later, so we'll see. We'll hold on to that. Because I truly, without Scatty or even Woo, there's nothing good about Valkyrie. Like, she's pretty mundane. Like, actually, I think Romulus is better. For the most part. Like, absolutely. Unless, of course, you got like some kind of quick thing going on. But why am I doing this without leveling my units? I am not doing London at level 30. Alright, level cap's now 40 to 45, but we have to aim for 40. You can't, like, try to get 45. Yeah, Valkyrie's got an evade, but it's only one hit, where Romulus has guts, but he can also give it to somebody else if needed. And he's got a big defense up, and a big heal. sometimes. I don't know, it depends. Like, they're both pretty good, but I actually kind of favor Romulus a bit there. He even has the attack up for the team, where she's got demonic insta-death. Like, oh man. Oh god. Oh god. Okay, there's Tesla, so Lancer good. There's Ezo, so literally same thing that we just did. So, like Charlotte and stuff. There's Mordred Daddy that doesn't talk, so Saber. What else is relevant here? There's Jack, so at least Geronimo or something. And then there's several casters like Hohenheim, Babbage, Clown. Okay, so Ryder good. Why is my Alex in P1, for God's sakes? Well, I can always use Kairos. Alex can get his NP upgrade now? That's so silly. I guess Alex then, because even at NP1, he's probably going to do more than my other riders. And then there's a lot of casters here, so this is kind of an easy pick. $5,000. One rider piece away. Oof. Love this music though. Gotta be Bond 4. Yeah, I'll work on that when we're in London. Okay, here's the super good one. Jin Franks, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate it. That is a long time. I can't even, like... It's hard for me to fathom, man. Like, I got all these people that, like, have watched me for this long, and it's crazy, dude. Yeah, I think her stats are starting to fall off now from her level ups. Let's see. If she can level a bit more. Yeah, I think this is definitely where she's going to start to slow down. Because she'll start getting very little stats per level, and obviously she doesn't have that many more levels to go. We knew it wouldn't last forever. She'll still be useful though. Oh yeah, that's 5 levels, not even 200 attack. She's definitely slowing down. Her time has come. I guess though that means this is where Caligula, I think, starts getting better actually. Captain will be happy about that. Don't feel bad for Salome though. I think she's still gonna be a staple for the whole account just because of her once she gets her third skill and stuff. There's just a lot of uses there. She's even a potential grail target, I would say. Baka, yeah. Okay. We can go all the way to 40 here. Wonder what his stats are gonna look like here. Alright. Caligula is 1000% getting leveled at some point. Everything on the list really is getting leveled. What about Charlotte? Yeah, it's okay. It's either her or Jin K, but because Jin K's NP1, I'm not too keen on it. Did they say when K's file starts? Wasn't really paying attention that much during the stream. 12th. So we got it just a few days. Okay, oh, Charlotte's starting to fall off too. Look at that. She gained 9 levels and she gained like 200 attack. Yeah, that's I tell you, man, it catches up with you. That early success doesn't you pay for it. Yeah, wow, she's dead in the water now. But hey, she beat the demon god. So, we'll take it. Jason's kind of fallen off too, actually.
Yep.
This is gonna make London really hard because we're not actually. Most of the units we've been using are the growth. But the thing is, we had to. That, like, Cairo will back me up on this. We had to use the servants that had the early growth curve, bad late game curve, because we wouldn't have been able to beat the shit. So we might actually have to rotate our servants in the meantime. Like, everyone will be all right, like, once they get to their max level. But we actually might need to change the units we're focusing on right now for London, because I think London's going to be hard, and basically these people they're not getting any stronger at 40. Let's see, who else should we... I mean, honestly, we might want to see where... Let me go look at Caligula's growth curve, because he might be... Because some people don't have good stats early, and they don't have good stats mid. They only have good stats at the very end. Let's see what Caligula is. He is S, which is... What is S? S is the one... Okay, Caligula gets everything in the middle. He barely gets anything at the start, and he barely gets anything at the end. So this actually is Caligula's time. So I think we level Caligula. I hope I have the Berserker stuff for him. Because, yeah, it looks like he's gonna, like, surpass... Either... Let me look at Blood Axe. Because that's an option. We want at least 2 Berserkers. His Blood Axe is already 30. Blood Axe is linear, so he just gets more and more as it goes. So Blood Axe is a safe pick. I'll at least take him to 35, and I'll look at my statues and see if we've got enough for Caligula. Because this does look like right where Caligula is going to be at his peak. Okay, Blood Axe isn't anything exceptional right now, although if we do take him to 40, these next 5 levels will be decent. Okay, we can get Caligula. Let's do that. I suspect Caligula peaks at 50. I'm guessing that's how he's going to be. We're definitely going to need Caligula for like Demeter and Gorgon and stuff anyway. Yeah, we have Phantom. Okay, not super happy about the mats he takes, but we'll deal with it. Oh yeah, he's starting to get some stats here. Sadly though, we can only take him to 40, so like right as he's starting to game, we're gonna, because I think he gets like the real meat of his stats at like 50, 55, but we're not quite gonna get there. I actually hope we get bullshit luck, because we're allowed to go to 45, but we're supposed to aim for 40. So I hope I get a super success here. Like, oh no, Chad, it went over the typical cap. If we just happen to get a super success here, that'd be really lucky. Damn it. Well, we gotta stop there though. But yeah, 5,000. If we got that extra 5 levels, it'd probably get, you know, quite a bit there. But still, that's fine. 5,000 is good enough, I think. All right, so we need probably Hector. I think we're gonna need Hector as well. I have no idea what his growth curve is, but I think we just need him, period. And then we needed a caster. I mean, yeah, there's nothing to talk about, Fury, because it's just everything we've said before she was released. Right? Like, there's nothing, like, what else is there to say? I guess the only other thing to say is her animation quality looks pretty suspect, but we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. I guess Leonidas wouldn't have been a bad level up. Oh, right, we have Booty Lancer, that's right. Honestly, I think we're gonna need Gilius. I think there's some Lancer trash mobs and stuff, and we're gonna want the extra muscle, most likely. Okay, we can't, though. It's not yet. Alright, I actually think Geronimo is better than Anastasia right now. Weird to say that, but I really think that's the case. Decent stats right now. Asthena's not worth it right now. She's not gonna be worth it for a long time, like a really long time. I leveled Alex, Billy, Romulus, Boudica. Oh, Shakes, that was not a bad idea. Need to get rider pieces. Oh yeah, I should probably level Billy too. I don't think there's too many sabers, but Billy's just so good. Man, we're gonna like London. I think is really gonna be tough. 40 is just a really nasty level cap for this. But we'll see. Look, okay stats right now. Do we sneak in Jin K? Oh, what about archers? Other than okay, yeah, this is worth. I think his stats are about to fall off too. Yeah, Jesus, he barely gained anything. There we go. Black Bart or something. We do need a rider. We got Alex. I think we need one. Boudica or Black Bart? Probably Black Bart. I think Boudica is going to be good, but not for a while. Although she's already at actually where she can go to 40. Well, fuck it. I guess it's Boudica then. So like Boudica, strong arm. Well, she gains an okay. She probably peaks at 50, I'm assuming. And we get 4,000. Boy, so not only is level 40 just a rough level cap for London, but because we're using all these weird growth curves for that were good early game, we're really not that much stronger right now, so yeah, we might have a bad time here. We might have to even take a break to level up some skills and stuff, but we'll see. Alright, anyone else? MASH. That's probably always the right call. I'll update my support list after this too. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Who do we give K-Scope to? You can give it to 2 people. Let me think. Early on, maybe the thing is my riders suck, so maybe not a rider. Yeah, Salome's not bad, especially because she got NP2. That seems like an universal pick, so it's not bad. And then for this list, we'll go with... I mean, it's okay on MASH. Yeah, we got K-Scope. Pretty lucky on that one. I think MASH or like Romulus. What do you think, Cairo? What do you want? What do you want it on this list? Because really, it affects you more than me. So, like, I think this K-Scope on Salome makes sense. But what about this one? MASH, yeah, that makes sense. I think 2030 is going to be like something that we have to like request until we get like Kid Gil's 3rd skill. We'll give Romulus the Ilya one. I think that makes sense here. I think I put Geronimo up now instead. Don't think there's a lot of riders, so we'll do that. Seems decent. Okay, she's not really needed anymore. I guess it's Leo. You never know. I'll give him Outrage. Double taunt right out the gate. I tell you, Leo though with K-Scope actually, that's not too bad. I need to level something right now, but nothing can even go in that slot. Phantom is actually not a bad person to level right now, but we're kind of low on XP, so... Put Billy... Okay. This is probably not as good anymore. Let's see if we can level Booty Lancer just because she doesn't need to ascend, and that could be okay. She's nothing special right now, but... That's okay stats. Oh, of course she gets it! Oh god, she went over the level cap. Oh god. Is she banned now? We normally don't do that, but she went over. How did she go from 40 to 47? She went past 45. Well, we got other Lancers, so if you look at her HP, yeah, I think that's like this is where she peaks or something, or starts. This is probably where she starts. She probably peaks at like 65 or 70. Okay, we'll hold off on using her because she's only 2 levels over the cap, but. We'll keep her off the field for now. If only she'd landed on 45, then it'd have been okay. Alright. It's just assassins. Cairo, can we like get some levels here? Let's see what we can do without though Cairo's units. Let's see, all I've actually got is Geronimo though, so I guess Salome, and maybe Mash. What do we even give Mash? There's this. Damn. Okay, yeah, Caligula catching up there. Although Blood X does have the guts, which is quite nice. Okay, we need Alex Bond. There we go. We're bringing Alex to an assassin stage. I mean, we'll use her obviously in, you know, America. We'll see. We might use her in London if we need her, but I don't think we're even gonna need her, so. See you, Fury. Okay, these look easy enough. You know, I probably should have done the defense up. Just to hit Geronimo. Chad, if only we had our quick up. Oh, wow. Not used to that. You don't really like Geronimo. Smash you, smash you. Damn, no Geronimo art card there. Gonna mess that up. Oh, what? That's the easiest stage in like the entire game. Like Fuyuki was harder than that. What the hell? One wave. They always started off really easy though. Like the beginning of Okeanos was kind of easier than the end of Septum. Free SQ though. Yeah, okay, except for Camelot. Camelot definitely starts harder than the end of America, but, well, I mean, the first stage probably isn't harder than, like, Alter, but, like, for trash, the early trash stages are way harder than the late trash stages of America, for sure. Cairo, I'd just like to point out, we haven't done a single event. Like, there's not one event. Although that's kind of good because by the time they let us do an event, we'll probably be high enough level to actually be able to handle it. If we can beat London, we're like looking good. Yeah, I think Cairo needs to relog or something. Didn't quite kill that one. Smash got that. Hopefully this gets Geronimo's MP and we kill. Only he had crit. I guess I can use Mash's second skill, that'll work. Oh, he's got this. Man, these stages are a joke. He should kill. 15k, level 40, no big deal. I actually might have a Geronimo NP rank that I forgot to give. Same for Billy. Let me check on that. We're moving up in the world. Yeah, I had a feeling that was the case. Hey, NP3 is where your damage peaks. Like, obviously 4 and 5 combined is still quite useful, but it can make do. I guess Geronimo's already NP5. Actually, Chad already got green with Sanson. That was a long time ago, though. I think the like move bot has changed the way it works, and I don't count as a viewer, even though I do count as a viewer. It's really weird. But yeah, many years ago, when I was playing Ninja Gaiden Black, I got Sanson. So we really need Cairo to update his list. I mean, let me send him a message on Discord. There we go. Yeah, we could use like a 40 Jason. I like how his has higher stats right now because Jason didn't gain a lot from 30 to 40, and he's got the CE. Now, obviously, if I like give him this, then you know this one's higher, but that's kind of funny there. Alright, Gilius is just 30, but it's fine. Or we could use someone that gives charisma. Yeah, that's good. I like that. We need Alex Bond anyway. Billy could probably use some Bond. It's good to get interludes anyway, even if they don't come with buffs, because they give you SQ. And we're gonna need it. We can't use Saber Lily. She would be better though than pretty much everything that we have. Like that is allowed. I don't know why you did like the boss zoom in. It's just a trash mob game. Can we at least kill the one? No? Got a Brave Chain. I think we take that. Surely he can do 12k. He's got the better craft essence and all that. You know, it's kind of sad. This account will probably never have a K-scope higher than level 20. Because it's unlikely. We might get a second K-scope someday, maybe even a third, but there's no reason to fuse them until you could limit break, so... It's unlikely that we'd limit break one. Ouch. Get Alex some MP. I don't think it'll matter, but you never know. That thing had triple attack buff. Hey, if we luck sack 5k scopes, I'm okay with that. No complaints here. This account's gonna need the help. The thing is, you're more likely to get K-scope if you roll story. I'm not kidding. It's like when you only roll in raid ups, you get the rated up CEs, and those ain't K-scope. There's a reason why I've got K-scope on like every account, I think, other than this Thinno one, because I roll story a decent amount, and you get exposed to way more craft essences that way. Now, yeah, you're not gonna roll story one time overnight and then just boom get K-scope. Of course not. Like there's too many 5-star CEs for that. But if you only roll on banners, you're actually unlikely to get K-scope anytime soon because you get so few regular craft essences. That's why it's worth it to gun for like Asclepius and things like that. From time to time, like set aside a chunk of SQ here and there to try to get Asclepius or Bedivere, because they're useful for your account anyway, and while you're at it, you've got a shot at getting 20, 30, K-Nif, K-scope, you know, stuff like that. It's no guarantee, like of course not, but it's something. Yeah, I don't care about a lot of banners, so kind of works out for me. Go with... This is kind of awkward. I'm assuming it's Trash Mob. This might even be Jack. I think it's Trash Mob Lancers and then Assassin Boss. That's my assumption here. Do I even bring a Saber or do I just bring like Mash? I think we bring Mash. Maybe then Jason, just because we could heal somebody if they're fucked up. And then clean up with Faster. Anastasia's probably not worth bringing. I'm still gonna bring Alex. I want the bond. So what is he at? He's probably at a decent bond. Not exactly. I guess I didn't unlock him for a while. What on Mash? She actually kind of needs to do damage. Mashy Smash you. Oh yeah, they're changing it so you have more team costs at lower levels. The maximum team cost is the same, but when you're lower level, you'll get more team costs sooner. And I don't actually really like that because, you know, they just keep trying to do things, because they even said it, like they're trying to make it easier for people to get through the main story. But like, you don't need to make it easier to get through the main story. You need to make it better, right? You need to cut out the filler. You need to make it more rewarding, right? You need to lower the AP cost, right? Or get rid of the AP cost. Like, that's how you get people through the story. Not just like, oh, it's so easy now. That just makes it boring, right? Like, boring story does not motivate new players to finish the story, right? That's like the whole problem the game has. And they're just doing the exact same design philosophy I've seen every other game do. You know, when their early game starts to age, they don't fix it up. They just try to rush players through it. And that's like the complete wrong mindset, in my opinion. She's pretending to be Pretender, yeah. I just can't believe that you had an established really? Just double attack, Salome, crit, okay, I know, and she had defense up. I could have done her second skill, but like, that was so unlikely. Thanks, game. I just think we restart, because this is a boss. Pretty fucked. That's just so frustrating when that happens. Also, Cairo needs to fucking log in, for God's sakes. Anyway, it's just really annoying that they had a canonical class that already existed, that Oberyn would have obviously fit into just fine, but instead they make a new one, and then when they add the unit that was that canonical class, they change it to Oberyn's class because they don't want to add another new class. It's like, they have just such bad foresight. I definitely blame Time Moon for that, though. I don't think that's DW's fault at all. What does that have to do with anything? Like, it doesn't matter who wrote it. Nothing in the sentence I just said has anything to do with that. See, I thought last time it got like completely deleted, and now like everyone's at full health. Slight value shift. I almost want to NP because I don't want someone to die. But do that. Man, even with they have defense up and the damage cut, I'm surprised they're taking that much damage. Not looking so good here. Trying to at least make it to the final wave. Berserkers. Well. Probably give her the evade. Jason taking all the cards, that's okay. Should be able to kill this one. Yeah, Natsu was in charge of last Encore actually, and it was terrible. But honestly, I don't think Natsu's writing style and like knowledge applies well to an anime. Like, I don't think he really knows how to make an anime. Like, the time restraints within an anime and everything compared to a visual novel, like the way you have to write characters is just so different. I don't think he's got the right skill set for that. Like, I'm not trying to insult the man, like, not at all. It's just, it's kind of obvious. I don't think his writing style really lends itself to, like, an anime. And Nasu really is cart before the horse as well, and I'm not really a fan of that kind of thing. Alright, this is not a boss wave, that's a little disappointing. See if she can just kill them both though. Yeah, I think last Encore is one of the worst things from the Fate universe. It's very bad. Let's see, what do I think is the worst stuff? I don't know, there's probably more bad than good. I hate to say that, but it kind of is what it is. But, you know, Fate Zero is good, Fate Strange Fake is good. Even APOC, the books, maybe not the anime, but the books are alright. I wouldn't say they're amazing, but they're alright. Prismalia is pretty bad, but that's kind of a side, what do you call it? Side series or whatever, offshoot. So we really need Cairo to log in. Yeah, even the manga is better than the anime. Like, the manga didn't butcher it nearly as much. You know, they still had to cut stuff and change things, but the manga is absolutely better than the anime. Okay, we gotta get Alex on here. Damn. I could change his CE, but I'm kind of lazy. Do that. Although, actually, we probably should be bringing Salome as often as possible, because if she can get her second passive, that's quite good. It's just a really easy way for her to get her NP. I mean, hell, with K-Scope, she could just NP turn 1. And then once she's got her third skill, and if you've got like Leonidas, Mash, Bin K, stuff like that going on, that could be pretty good. I wouldn't want to read a manga while listening to a stream or anything like that. Like that, maybe listening to music while reading a manga, maybe, but if I'm reading, I want to focus on reading. Billy can brave chain, so I'll do his battery. This ought to be pretty reasonable damage. I just like how they fundamentally changed how Wayne's NP worked. So it was like a generic laser beam instead of the giant, massive, all-engulfing AoE. And then, as soon as the anime was over, it went right back to being the all-engulfing AoE again. It's just, it's so stupid. Like, that's like Nasu's writing style in a nutshell right there. Like, the plot and logic go out the window the second it's in the way of what he wants to do with the characters. Like, those characters needs to have a moment or not have a moment or whatever. Mountains will shift to make it make sense, and then, you know, that's just, it's just, you know, fluff. It's just bullshit. Like, Gwen and Herc are both so overpowered, they get nerfed by the plot constantly, or they just have things change miraculously for no reason. Like, all of a sudden they don't have the stats that they're supposed to have, or whatever. But, you know, it's, that's a lot of Fate writing. It's like they don't... You know, they try to act like D&D with all the technical stuff, but then as soon as the technical stuff's in the way, it just goes right out the window, so... Now, not all the writers do it that way, but Time Moon very much does do it that way. Let's see here. We do kind of need a second caster. I think there's going to be enough assassins, and also Jack. And hell, this might be Jack now. Let's see if I can level one of my casters. Some Kairos aren't updating, and because he hasn't logged in, and we've only got Geronimo. Not the best. Hohenheim is actually not bad early game just because of his battery, but his NP is also a joke. I guess we'll go with Anastasia. The only issue with Anastasia is her early stats aren't that great. Well, we'll see if this helps it. Okay, please no going to... Okay, that's better. That's definitely better. Please no going all the way to... Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna... Wait, I could give her, like, bronze. And even if that super successes, that won't do anything crazy. There we go. Right on the button. Yeah, actually, that's true, Gambler. Like, there's a bit with the writer of Fate Strange Fake talking about how he tries really hard to keep things consistent with the character material books and internal logic and stuff like that. And then in that interview, like, Nasu's part of it, and Nasu's like, nah, you just make shit up. Like it's really blatant about it. So yeah, he cares more about like the, yeah, you gotta relog. I think let's see if it refreshing does it. Nope. Maybe we summon Salome, or maybe we just summon Blood Axe to get the FP. So I can probably make do here. Let's see, do that. Blood Axe in the back. Okay, I want to bring Alex if I can get away with it, just because Bond, but he is useless here. Let's do that. Okay, I like that. Okay, Mash doesn't need that for this. Okay, Anastasia finally getting real stats. Barely, in total, she's barely ahead of Salome though. Which is kind of funny, but Salome's falling off, so she'll get ahead. Alright, this looks decent. The thing is, Nasu doesn't put his effort in his writing into like internal logic and consistency. He just doesn't. That's not where he puts his effort. He puts his effort into the characterization and like backstory of the characters and stuff like that. And he does do a good job with that stuff. But yeah, his like world building is shit. His consistency is shit. You know, respecting the past. There's none of that. And there's no internal logic to his stuff. And what he does is to kind of try to like maintain internal logic. He just makes up new rules that justify some ridiculous contrivance in whatever story. Then that rule is never used again, right? Like he's just constantly making up bullshit, convoluted rules to his universe, and it gets a little silly. But you know, it's his story. He can do whatever he wants. I think I had vulnerability Salome right now just to get the battery. Although she'll probably get her NP after anyway. She has no art cards, so once she gets her art cards, that's when she'll get it, with or without Mash. So actually, we'll do this and then defense up. I could do the Mash Brave Chain, but that's not really that useful. I mean, he has an editor, it's just the editor is even worse, so... And the thing is, a lot of readers don't care about internal consistency. Like, look at Harry Potter. Holy crap. Those books are so full of just made-up bullshit. Right? Like the writer, what's her name? J.K. Rowling or something? Like, she would just, like, make up some stupid bullcrap, like, oh yeah, these boots that everyone totally has let you teleport anywhere. But like, if you had that this whole time, why weren't anyone ever using them? And then why did they never use them again? She's like constantly doing stuff like that. Just making up items and spells to justify some ridiculous plot point and then never using them ever again. But if those things were actually part of the universe, people would be using it all the time, and it just makes no fucking sense, right? Like, it's actually very common. A lot of popular books have garbage, and I mean garbage, internal logic, right? Because a lot of writers, they have a hard enough time coming up with engaging characters and like character arcs and stuff like that. They can barely handle that, let alone trying to worry about like world consistency, you know, logic with, you know, the past, and like with how nations would operate, like that kind of, like they can't handle that, and I would say more stories than not are actually really bad at that kind of stuff. It's actually pretty rare you find an anime, a book, a movie that has good internal logic and where things are like consistent and reasonable, right? Like there's just so much cart before the horse going on in storytelling, and I don't like that. I'm not a fan. I know it's really hard It's really difficult to be internally consistent, but I think it's insanely important. But I don't know. I mean, again, there's I think a lot of trash out there that people love and will eat up. So if it sells, it sells. Like, doesn't matter what I think. Okay, I could NP right now. If I invulnerability. Yeah, let's do it. And then Geronimo can NP next turn. Yeah, I honestly don't follow the Harry Potter, you know, franchise or fandom in any way, so I don't know, but I know enough about it to know how bad its internal logic is. You know, like, if the fans already are aware of that, you know, I wouldn't have known, but I'll take your word for it. I could Brave Chain. I know we can Brave Chain with Geronimo. Oh yeah, boys, Buster up. Here we go. 5,000 damage. Let me swing AoE. I'll take it. Yeah, we got evade now. It's unfortunate. Now, the smart thing to do is to evade Geronimo, but the fun thing to do is to evade Salome, because if she happens to NP again, that'd be really cool. But she doesn't have any art cards right now, and Geronimo can art chain. But maybe she just doesn't NP Geronimo. Chat, I am clearly not gonna regret this. Beach's boss fight. What was that one? Oh yeah, I don't know. It's like, fuck you, game. Absolutely, no luck here. Anyway, that fight was like too easy if you use the story support, the Ibuki, to the point where it's like, it feels so contrived, right? Ibuki just magically has every gimmick to counter the fight, and it's boring if you use the story support Ibuki. And if you don't use the story support Ibuki and you don't use any meta stuff, then it's a little bit unreasonable. So it didn't really hit the Goldilocks zone there. Man, she just had to NP Geronimo, man. It would have been so good if she had NP'd, you know, literally anyone else, and then she like normal attack Geronimo. That would have been fine. Watch her kill Salome here. You like cast the skill, lady? Okay, at least she didn't kill Salome. Very close though. Yeah, I think a lot of people did not even realize that the story support Ibuki got a bunch of extra gimmicks in that fight and it made it a joke. Actually, what's funny is they never even said that Ibuki was on par with Zeus. She absolutely isn't. It's actually very clear that she's not. That was like a mistranslation that the idiot English community just ran with. Like, what they say is, like, her aura is like the pressure you felt when Zeus wasn't in his god form, right? When he was in his avatar form. Where there was like that big pressure that you could barely stand. But that was Zeus in his avatar form. When Zeus goes to his god form, right, he was so much stronger than that. And even when Zeus was in his god form, you know, he was only on 35%, so she's not even in the ballpark. Well, time to kill a child, although she actually doesn't die here, but give her a minute. It is kind of funny though how many mistranslations catch on forever in the FCO community. Loot. Alright, we get some statues here. That's actually kind of useful. I don't think Cairo actually updated his list still. Or no, he just didn't level them because it does have Alex, so he just didn't level any of these fucking people. Jesus, what do I summon? Maybe just Blood Axe for the FP? Hopefully this isn't a boss fight, but it could be Jack again. I know you fight her like 3 times, but I don't know if you fight her again that soon. It's just tough fighting, like if it's Jack because I'm bringing a unit that doesn't do anything. Like, less than does nothing. Gotta get that bond though. You probably need to actually change something on them, Cairo, like change their craft essence and things like that. Because like I've known this for a while, like FGO, there's certain things that like it won't register like what like little stuff has happened under the hood, like leveling and skills. I remember like when I grailed Ku to 100, it took a while to actually get the fucking list updated. I had to like do a bunch of other stupid shit for get it to like rescan Ku essentially. But yeah, it's really annoying how they do it. FGO support list, you know, it's like babysitting a 2-year-old. That's kind of what it's like. If this is Jack again, we might be in trouble. This is not a particularly good setup. Like 2 dead units on the field. But meanwhile, command codes update instantly. Like just instantly command codes get updated. You don't even have to do anything on the support list and they just automatically update. It makes, I don't understand, man. There's some weird stuff going on with the way they coded the friends list for sure. Restarting my game has literally nothing to do with anything. Like that's just so fundamentally not how this works. Like it's a server. It's got nothing to do with the client. They claim to have fixed all the spaghetti code by now, but I don't believe them. I mean, there's no reason to be that upset. It's not like this is particularly important. Will this kill? No Buster card. Triple attack buff. Really practical turn they got going on there. I actually really like this song. It's quite good. Also probably older than most of the people in chat. Let's find out. When was Golden Axe made? Golden Axe release date 1989. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that predates everybody, so. I'm a 98 baby. Let's see, what month did this come out? Let's try to find out. The initial release date is 1989, but it doesn't say the month. I know it's that. That's like before like things are documented. Okay, now there it is, January 27th, 1989. I'm surprised they actually got. That's like before the internet really caught on, so I'm surprised they got that much information on it. Arjuna's got. I love Arjuna's got it beat. I know. I love Arjuna, the oldest one here, as far as I'm aware. These chats, grandmother. Boomer game shaking my head. You know, it's not for an old game. It's actually pretty fun. Like, it's a little simplistic, but it's got some fun boss fights and whatnot. Some of the later versions of Golden Axe got really shitty though. And I remember there's a notoriously bad one on like the PlayStation 3. Like they came out way after. They tried to like reboot it, and it's called like, I think it's like Golden Axe Beast Rider or Golden Axe Beast something. And it has like the worst controls ever. I mean, it is just like, how did you make a game that bad, right? It's not even one of those games it's like so bad it's good. It's just bad. Like, it is so bad. Like, all they had to do was make like a little beat 'em up, you know. It doesn't have to be like the most depth ever, but they could have made something good still. But no, they made utter garbage. Maybe I brave chain the other one. I guess I do this. No Geronimo card was pretty awkward on this turn. Yeah, I remember I'd heard that game was bad, and many years ago I saw it for $1, like in a bargain bin, $1. And they had like a deal where you could get like 5 games in the bargain bin for $4. It was that, you know, that cheap. So I you know what, we'll see, is it really that bad? And you know, I got other games that were actually good. And oh boy, it was that bad. I wanted my $1 back, man. And I don't think it even cost $1 because it was part of like a, you know, package deal. So it was probably like, if you figured it out, it's probably like, you know, 75 cents or something. And I still felt ripped off. Like, it's so bad, dude. Alright, let's see if I can actually kill this guy. I think I still have it somewhere. I should play it again one of these days just to remember how shit it is. I remember there's another game from that era that was notoriously so bad. It was like some kind of like third-person shooter, but it kind of played like an action game, but it had like just terrible camera, terrible enemies, terrible boss design, terrible controls, floaty. It kind of had like, I don't know, a Batman Beyond like aesthetic or something. I don't remember what that game was though, but it was really famous for being bad. Oh wait, no, I want to use mine. Excuse me. I don't remember what it was called. I just, I could probably find it if I really looked into it. I just remember what like vaguely what like the main character looked like and like what some of the stages looked like. I never played it, but it was just so known for being really bad. I think it might have been like 99 dragons or 99 drakes or something like that. That sounds something in that area, but yeah, it was notoriously stiff. Yeah, I think EX has got something like that. Oh my god, there's another one. Oh shit, dude. This is another, I even bought this one too because it was another one that was like $1. It was some kind of Dynasty Warriors kind of game from that era, and it is so bad. Like, I'm trying to remember what I don't think it's 99 Nights sounds familiar, but I'm not sure that's the one I'm thinking of. But there's a Dynasty Warriors game that definitely, that name reminds me of it, but I think I have that. I'll have to look because I've got that one and it was insufferable. Oh, in 3. That's it. Yep, that's it. In 3. I think that's it. Let me look. Let me Google that. That sounds right. Although I think there might have even been another one, because there was a lot of bad games back then, man. Not that there aren't bad games now, but... Oh my god, that is one. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. That in 3 99 Nights. That is. That's not the exact. That's the other one I was thinking of. The original one that I was thinking of, that was a Dynasty Warriors game that is terrible, is not this. But this one is also horrible. It's like, how do you fuck some of that stuff up, man? Like just crazy floaty combat and bad games, man. I need to stream some of these games. That actually make hilarious streams, I think. Yeah, Dragon Guard or whatever, it's not amazing, but it's not. It's way better than the games I'm talking about right now. I gotta find that other game I'm talking about, though, because it's unbelievably obscure. Because, like, in 3, I actually don't think it's that obscure, because it got pretty known, but there was, like, this other... I don't know, it had, like, a darker aesthetic. It actually kind of had a cool aesthetic, but it was such a bad game. I'll never remember its name, though, so I can, like... vaguely remember the cover kind of in my head. So I'll have to find it because I know I've got it. I've got like a binder of a bunch of old game CDs and stuff. I'll have to look for that. Some of I think the older Armored Core games are definitely not for everybody, although I think Armored Core 3 is still pretty damn good. Obviously the graphics are yikes, but I think like Armored Core 3, was it Last Raven, I think? I get those ones confused. But like that's some good stuff, and I think people can still really enjoy that. But yeah, 4 Answer is always the one I recommend to people because it's the most palatable by far. Because some of the old ones do get a little jank. But there's still some good stuff there. Like, I will say, it's kind of hard to recommend how to get into Armored Core, and I kind of want Tyler's opinion on this because he got into it recently. Like, if you want the story, you really do need to play Armored Core 4 first, because 4 and 4 Answer are so tied. They're such, like, tied together. And you understand 4 a lot better actually after playing 4 Answer, and vice versa. But 4 is a lot jankier than 4 Answer, right? There's just no way around it. Like 4, like, once you understand it, there's a lot of fun to be had with it, right? But it's hard. It is absolutely harder to get into Armored Core 4 than 4 Answer. But you really, if you want to get the atmosphere, you want to understand the characters, the motivations, the universe, you need to play Armored Core 4 first. Like 1000% you need to play Armored Core 4 first before playing 4 Answer. And it's funny because as you play Armored Core 4, it's going to seem a little vague and you might understand everything, but when you play 4 Answer, it kind of, you start like, oh, okay. So yeah, it kind of sucks where like if someone's getting into it purely for gameplay, I will just always tell them play 4 Answer. Just play Armored Core 4 Answer. But if they're wanting like the whole package experience, then I would normally say Armored Core 4, but it's going to be a bit jank, and then 4 Answer, and it's a lot smoother. So, but yeah, it's kind of difficult to what to recommend. Yeah, 5 is not so good. 5 is not so good. You can honestly skip 5. Like, I just, it's not, the gameplay is not good. And then it has a follow-up game, Armored Core Verdict Day, but the thing is, you don't need to play 5 to understand Verdict Day. And what's funny, I will say this is pretty cool, okay? So most of basically what they do is they make the numbered Armored Core games, which are their own universe generally, and then they'll have like the titled ones that are like kind of derivative of the original's name, and those are like the sequels in that universe, right? So you have Armored Core 4 as in the number 4, so that's a new universe, and then you have Armored Core 4 Answer, which is its sequel, right? And they're directly tied. And so when they made Armored Core 5, everyone assumed it was just a new universe again, because that's generally what they do. So they made Armored Core 5. And really nothing in it linked it to the other games in any way. It just seemed like a completely different universe. It was just a really fucked up universe, and that was that. And then they made Armored Core Verdict Day, which is its sequel, and it's directly tied to it. Although you really don't need to play Armored Core 5 to understand it, but anyway. And then in Verdict Day, they slowly reveal that it's actually the same world as Armored Core 4, which is kind of wild, because they just never done that before. And that was really neat. But it just sucks that Armored Core 5 sucks. And even Verdict, the problem with Verdict Day, it's pretty good. It's like really different. And thank you, I can never say your name, but thank you, I always forget, is it an I or an L? I don't know. I'll go with Lyzak. It's either Lyzak or Lyzak or something. Crazy how fast time goes when you're stuck at home. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Yeah, time has been flying for me. Anyway, so Verdict Day has just got pretty solid gameplay. It's not as good as some of the past games, but it's got pretty solid gameplay, and it's got a bigger emphasis on multiplayer, and some of that's really cool, actually. But the story is just a lot more shallow, and I mean a lot more shallow, and they like do a lot of stuff to try to make it seem like it has depth, but it just doesn't. Like it's all just throwaway stuff. So like the characters are a lot more shallow, the story is a lot more shallow, so that kind of sucks, but it's still a fun game. It's got some cool multiplayer aspects. Even like the co-op is actually really fun. If you want to have a fun co-op game, that's a really good co-op game actually. And it's got really good music and stuff. So Verdict Day is good, but it's still, you know, no Armored Core 3, 4, or 4 answer, but it's a hell of a lot better than Armored Core 5. 5 is probably my least favorite in the series, to be honest. It's just so dull. I never have any issue not being able to read CEs because I memorize what all of them do anyway, and if I want to know what they do, I just look it up on the wiki. So it's like most of the CEs that matter are kind of the same ones we've been using for years, so like I don't even notice when I'm on JP or NA. It feels exactly the same to me. Like I don't read anything on either version because I've got everything memorized that's relevant. And yeah, if I need to know some it's not like, I mean, Jesus, if I need to look up a nitty-gritty detail, I can't do that in the NA version anyway because there's no fucking tooltips in this game. Cast a random skill, eh? Like, I don't think so, right? If I need like the nitty-gritty, I gotta go to the wiki anyway, so. I don't know the names of the new JP stuff either, to be honest, but most of the new JP stuff's not any good. And you can always look them up by, you know, order added or picture or whatever. Like, I don't know the name of the Virtuous CE, but I don't need to because I know it's just another generic, you know, it's like, you're going to remember, it's like, oh yeah, it's a 50% one, right? And it's an art one, so, you know, if you forget the tiny details, it's not a big deal, which I don't, I know what it does, but if I did forget the tiny details of the Virtuous CE, all I gotta remember is, yeah, it's an art one at 50% starting MP. Who cares? But I literally have no idea what the Virtuous CE's name is. I have not a clue. By the way, her CE is more popular than she is. That's happened twice now. Can't help but notice none of Cairo's stuff is updating still, so that's nice. I'll do that. Gotta cut something here. In cost is big yikes. Try switching the units out, like switch everyone out and then put them back, and I have a feeling that'll do it. And then make sure the list goes through both times. What can I cut here? I guess her CE is not important at all. I hate this new UI. What were they? Why? God. Like I just want to remove the thing, and they make it such a bitch. When they find a way to make the UI worse somehow. Oh, the music's looping. Although this music's pretty solid, to be honest. Actually, I don't think it is looping. It's just it wasn't set on random, so we're just going through the Golden Axe soundtrack right now is what's happening. But I got it on random now. Not that I mean, it's a good soundtrack, right? It's all right. Oh my God! Does anyone have the copy pasta? the guy that was mad about FGO and like Genshin's better and all that. That copy pasta is so fucking funny. Or copy paste. Pasta is like the trying to be spooky, which that never works. But yeah, that is such a good copy paste, especially because it was real. Like holy shit. But y'all remember what I'm talking about? The like just accepted like Genshin 1 already or whatever it was. It was a copy paste for a while. It was like what was it? It was some like, you know, something about like let go of the sunken cost fallacy in FGO. You know, just accept Genshin 1 already. I don't remember what it was exactly, but yeah, that used to be really common around here. Yeah, that one's fucking funny, man. Dude, we need something controversial to happen in FGO in terms of like gameplay, like in main story, because we haven't had any gyms in a while. We've had a few like short and sweet stupid comments, like absolutely, but we haven't had any gyms like the Zeus one. I love that, dude. Like I love that stuff. Just cracks me up, man. When you have someone that's like they're too dumb to even realize like how out of the loop they are on something, and they're trying to like decry somebody. That shit is so funny to me. Like, you know, hate mail in fighting games or Dark Souls or whatever. You know? Oh my god, it's so good. That guy, I don't think he comments on FGO videos anymore. I doubt he plays it anymore, and that's probably why. But he used to like comment on like various it wasn't just mine, it was like other channels, and he was always trying to like take people down a peg. That's like all he would do, and like you could tell if he had a hard time with a boss and someone did it with a budget clear, you know, he'd try to discredit it and stuff. Like, it was such a thing with that guy. But I don't think he played. I haven't seen a comment from him on anybody's channel in a long time, so I doubt he plays FGO anymore. Because apparently he's got better standards than we do, so. Oh god, I don't even want to read that. I don't even want to read that. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. How come I'm not famous? Your last one was pretty good, Icy. You're too known though. Everyone knows now that you're baiting. But you did a good, like that Protoku one was actually pretty well made. Like, and it did work on some people because like the Protoku comment was wrong, right? It was like factually wrong, but there was enough truth mixed into it that someone that's not good at the game will buy the logic. They'll think you know what you're talking about. When you obviously, you know, you're full of shit. Like that comment is absolutely full of shit, and you know it. But yeah, a couple of people bit. And like they actually were like on your side, like yeah, Protoku is better than Ku. It's like, oh god. I'm so glad I screenshotted that comment. Because that guy eventually deleted it. The Mori one was so good. And he even replied once where he was like saying like he was right because I pinned the comment. It was like, that was an ironic pin, thank you. I'm not even sure if ironic is the right way to put it. I just wanted people to see it. The world needed to see that comment, right? Like I had to do my part here. Oh my god, I think Cairo's list is updated. How about that? Look at him with this stupid NP5 Alex. I'm over here with NP1. Mine's got like the little, he's got like a big, you know, like Chad Gladius, and then my Alex has got a little butter knife. Like, yeah, I'll get him. You know, he holds it up like he's gonna cut somebody. Okay, do we need a saber? Figure why not. Probably no need for mash, just have Salome kill something and then die, fuck it. We'll use our crappy Alex here. In case of emergency. That's not what I meant to click. Okay, Billy can get the little attack up here. NP5 Billy too. Yeah, mine, at least mine's NP3. I think I got NP5 Geronimo though, so that's something. Oh yeah, I guess Alex doesn't hold up the sword anymore. Oh my god. See, and Icy did this on purpose, because Icy knows if I wanted to deconstruct that comment, it would take so many paragraphs to go through what's wrong here. And this is something that happens a lot in real life. Smart people will know this, right, when they deal with dumb people. Right? Like, dumb people can throw out like a buzzword or some stupid sentence that sounds like it's like some big thing, but it's not. It's normally incredibly flawed, right? They can just like say some, you know, like, sound like it's profound, but it's, you know, bullshit. And then to explain why that is, you know, fundamentally wrong, you would have to spend, you know, a lot of time going, you know, through the problems, and it takes a long time. And like, stupid people just take the quickly digestible drivel, and you know, they don't want to listen to the TED Talk. So that's like such a thing where like stupidity can get like ahead of the truth. It's easy to be stupid. Dude, they've done studies that like stupid people don't self-reflect, which means they don't realize they're stupid. And so stupid people are more likely to be confident and think, you know, have some ridiculous, you know, belief, and they just never challenge themselves, and they're just so confident that it's true and they just roll with it. Whereas smart people are full of like self-doubt, and like they question themselves all the time, and so they're not confident in their statements and whatnot. Now, I'm sure you can have no confidence and also be an idiot, like of course that can happen, but it's just people that are dumb are more likely to be like very sure of themselves. And it's just like, oh god, why? Yeah, you can absolutely be stupid and not know it. That is absolutely a thing. I guess this is a boss wave? Oh. He plays such a minor role in the story, it's crazy. You basically show up, say hi, and kill him, and he's gone. Like, that's basically it. Hey, how about that though? Let's see. I probably should not have done charisma, but I honestly did not realize this was a boss. Not really any point in healing Salome. I think she's gonna die regardless. We'll just do that. See what Kairo's Alex can do. No. Absolutely no. This is some I've seen that before. People are trying to be like, if you're smart, you can condense the truth into a more palatable. No, that's idiot talk. That's literally idiot talk. Some things in life are just complicated, and that's it. End of story. Like, there's no simple way to understand some things. Though, like it or not, the universe is absurdly complicated, and so are human relations. Right? Anybody that's ever had any kind of meaningful human interaction in their life knows what I'm talking about. There is so much nuance in the world, right? This idea that everything is easy to understand and everything is simple and everything is like black and white or 1, 2, 3, that's idiot speak, right? That's just not true. That's not how the world works. For God's sakes, like, some of the things that just occur naturally in like nature, with like how logs on beaches can be perfectly aligned and shit like that, all that stuff gets really complicated, right? The world is nuts. Like ants. Fucking ants are complicated as shit, right? And we got all these idiots running around like, oh, if you can't explain it quickly, then you probably don't understand it well enough. Meanwhile, I can't open a fucking pickle jar. Although, let's be honest, you know, pickle jars are the real final boss here. Actually, I have such a life hack here. You can like take a spoon, a flathead screwdriver or whatever and just pop the top on a pickle jar in like a half a second. By the way, it takes no effort, no strength, no time. You just instantly open it that way. But you know, that's, you know, tools. What are you gonna do? Yeah, Jesus, like some things in life, you know, actually can be boiled down to something simplistic, right? Because, you know, you know, peanut butter is not that complicated, right? But most things of merit, right? Most things that matter are complicated, right? You know, like if you want to get into like religion, you know, politics, science, you know, these things are complicated, right? And when you try to boil them down to simplistic, like figures of speech and metaphors and stuff, that just doesn't do these topics justice, and that's not how you actually come to the truth, right? You think the truth owes you simplicity? Like, of course not. All right. Brave chain. There we go. All right, let's see what we do. Gotta kill this guy before he gets his NP, because we ain't got no survival. Like, for example, I always forget which planet it was, but I think it's Venus. But it was one of the planets in the solar system that we found a lot later than the others. You know, we literally found it with math, right? Because, like, we didn't really have any visual evidence of it at the time. But then, like, with our understanding of gravity, our solar system wasn't actually operating the way it should have been. Yeah, maybe Neptune. That could have been it. I never remember the name. I need to look that shit up. Anyway, but our solar system literally did not operate according to the laws of physics if gravity as we knew it was true. So either gravity as we knew it was not true, or there was another planet that was changing the gravity in our solar system, and that's why, you know, it didn't make any sense. So this guy did all this goddamn math to basically account for if gravity as we know it is correct and our solar system is working as it is, what needs to be present in our solar system to explain why it's operating the way that it is. And so through that, he predicted the position of this other planet, and if gravity is right and if this planet exists at this time of day, at, you know, this point in the sky, we will see that planet. And then lo and behold, he was true, accurate, and there it was, right? Getting to that, finding that planet is incredibly complicated. You are not going to find that planet unless you have a deep understanding of what the fuck is going on, you know, in reality, right? There's no way you're gonna, you know, get to the truth without, you know, complexity, right? And if you're like a big dum-dum, right, and you need everyone else to figure it out for you, you can see the problem here, right? Because that's how it's easy for you to get fooled. Now, sure, no human can understand, like, all subjects to, like, a master's degree. Of course not, right? Like, you can only devote your time to so many subjects. But if there are things in your life that are important, right, like, it's relevant if you know the truth or not, it is very important that you understand, you know, how to get to the truth on a, you know, a very, a very, competent level, right? You need to be able to understand the evidence, you need to be able to understand the process, you know, because if it's something that's important, like something you're basing a life decision on, or if you want to marry someone or not, or if you want to be a part of a religion or not part of a religion, or you know, if you think you need to move or not move or whatever, you know, you need to be able to understand these things. You know, you can't dumb this shit down, right? Like that's how you get manipulated. Yeah, space is crazy, but yeah, that's why they say math is how the universe communicates with us, right? Because that's how you can figure shit. Math is a pretty powerful tool, and it's kind of wild, the kind of like prediction you can do with it. But I think things that you wouldn't think have anything to do with math, but yeah, it's kind of wild like that. And like obviously, like I said, you know, no human is going to be able to master, you know, every field that there is, right? How to make clothes, or, you know, astrophysics, or, you know, whatever. Like, there's so many things. No human is ever going to master all this stuff and understand all this stuff. Clearly not. But that doesn't mean you have to think those things are simple and, like, you know, they're never complicated, right? Of course, there's going to be things that are going to be over your head, and there's, you know, the layman version's not going to actually work, right? There's just things in life that are complicated. And so, like, for me as an individual, like, what I just try to do is the things that are relevant to me, the things that I think are important to me, the things that affect my life decisions, those are the things I put my time into, try to understand on a deep level. And the other stuff, I'm happy enough if I just have a surface level understanding. Well, I tried to not let the boss MP, but, I don't, unless we crit now. Okay, well, everybody's dead. Thankfully, we have a back row. That could have gone better. Okay, Alex actually face tanked, and then got crit, and still lived. That's somewhat impressive.
Okay.
And then Bodica didn't kill. Well, I tried. Alright, well, he's actually dead in the story right there. Like, you meet him, like, the cutscene before, you kill him, and it's gone. 10 out of 10 story, by the way. Of course, sometimes it's necessary to dumb things down, but that doesn't mean things are always simple, and that doesn't mean you always can dumb things down. Like, not everything in the universe can be, you know, dumbed down. Not every human relationship can be made simple. Right? I think anyone that's ever had relationship problems with a significant other will agree with me here. Not everything can be made simple. That life sometimes is just complicated, and you have to just deal with it. And if people don't have the time or the freedom or the money or whatever to understand that complexity, that's just going to be, you know, their loss or their problem, right? Not everything can be dumbed down. Some things can be dumbed down, like how to fucking, you know, put peanut butter and jelly on a sandwich. You know, you don't have to go into how the molecules work here, right? You really don't, right? That can be explained in a pretty simple manner. But not everything's peanut butter and jelly, right? Not all concepts work simply. Now, thankfully, some complicated things happen to have certain parallels with other things that make it easier for them to understand to the layman, sure. Like, that can happen. And, like, if you're a teacher, right, it's important to be able to find a way to condense or find a way to, you know, streamline information, sure. But no teacher worth their salt is going to act like every single topic that has ever existed to humanity can all be dumbed down and can all be streamlined so anybody can understand it. Like, of course not. And it's kind of like, you know, trying to dumb down the complexity of how, you know, humans are born to compare it to the stork theory and act like these two things are equal. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. There's, you know, a substantial, if you have actually an idiot that believes in the stork theory, right? You know, if they're not going to understand the process and they're not going to look into, you know, the extra evidence and all that kind of stuff, you know, they're probably not going to get off the stork theory. And there's a lot of things like that. That's why so many cults are so prevalent. That's why so many, you know, idiotic conspiracy theories catch on, is because there are fucking stupid people out there that are always going to eat up the, you know, really palatable, obvious, easy to understand nonsense that people put out there, and they're not going to put in the effort to understand the actual truth in the universe, because the truth is nuanced and it's complicated and it's messy and it's gray. Like, I'm not arguing for, like, you know, every topic ever needs to always be explained down to the tiny detail, but my point is there are just some topics that cannot be condensed, right? Especially if the person doesn't believe you. That's a big part of it. Like, someone that doesn't, like, believe in the Big Bang, for example, right? You're not going to convince them with a, you're probably not going to convince them at all, because people can be really stubborn like that. But, like, if you give them a metaphor of how the Big Bang works, that's not going to convince them. Like, there's no world that's going to convince them. And people that are on the fence, that's probably not going to convince them. People that are on the fence, you need to actually explain to them, you know, the best science that we have in the field, right? Like, that's going to be more compelling generally than just some vague metaphor. Actually, the Big Bang is something a lot of scientists use as an example of, like, where things get too complicated and there is just no simplistic way to explain it to people that don't believe you, because that level of science is very complicated and it's very important, and we still don't understand it fully. And you know, it's so messed up, right? It's like, you know, quantum physics. You know, no one understands quantum physics, so you can't really condense it in a way that is going to convince someone that's a non-believer, right? Like it's not going to happen. Okay, our team cost is like absolutely in the shitter here. So I like how over time, this is like a massive topic shift, but that reminds me of this. Like over time, how all of our terminology for video games has shifted and it's all like marketing nonsense. So like beta used to mean a completely unfinished game that, you know, still needs to be worked on and it's just, you know, an early build, right? That's not what it means anymore, right? Like it's basically a demo now. And like now, and even alpha barely means like beta anymore, right? Like it's so messed up now. But yeah, beta is demo essentially, you know, like it's very complete. Like yeah, beta might still need a few optimizations, but like by the time games are in an air quote beta state, there are no major changes that are going to happen, right? The skeleton of the game is completely done. You know, like generally all the voice acting is going to be done, for crying out loud. You know, like the progression of the game has been decided, the gameplay systems have been decided, right? Like that stuff's done, right? And normally that stuff's done in alpha, right? Like generally, alpha is mostly everything's been decided, but it's not polished. Like that's what alpha is now. But it's still like everything's been fucking decided, like what kind of gameplay it's gonna have, all the gameplay systems, the progression systems, you know, like the boss order, that kind of stuff is generally all done by even alpha. It's really silly. Like pre-alpha is basically, you know, alpha or beta now originally, right? Like it's crazy. Like whenever devs want people to like really understand, like it's like just only a little while out of like proof of concept, we now say like, you know, pre-alpha, right? But it's like that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, things have gotten very warped like that with game design over the years, and that happens a lot with any industry. It's like game scores, when you're reviewing them, they become inflated, right, over time. So like, you know, a 7 becomes kind of bad when that makes no sense, right? When you look at an actual scale and how 7 is well above the halfway point, how is 7 bad now, right? But that's what happens with like a lot of the major, you know, game stuff. The thing is, most people that believe in the Big Bang don't question it. That's the thing. Most people that believe in the Big Bang don't understand it. They would have bought in what the scientists said regardless. Them dumbing down the Big Bang does not help them understand it. Most people fundamentally do not understand the Big Bang, because even the best scientists have a really hard time understanding the Big Bang, because like that level of science right now is still really unknown and it's really fucked up. So most of the people that believe in the Big Bang, the dumbed down schlock you gave them, they would believe it even if it wasn't true. That's my point. Like the dumbed down version is not convincing people of the Big Bang. They're mostly just buying it because of a position of authority, and so they just, you know, accept science, and that's that. Now they may coincidentally be right because of that, but that mindset is how you get into, you know, very unhealthy situations, right? And that's how you buy into a cult and things like that. Is because you're not understanding things. You're not, like, most humans are never going to be able to understand the Big Bang, because, you know, that level of physics, you know, almost no one understands, and you know, humanity is just not really there yet. So obviously the layman's not going to be able to understand it. And for like someone like myself, it's like, okay, fair enough. I'm not going to devote, you know, my entire life to physics and all these things to try to understand the Big Bang, so I can say that it doesn't affect my life personally too much if I'm right or wrong about the Big Bang, right? It doesn't affect my life that much if I'm right or wrong about it. But there are other things where it may well affect my life in a more serious way, and they may also be very complicated, because it's not just physics that's complicated. Again, human relationships can be very complicated. How to treat people can be very complicated. And the history of society can be very complicated. There's, you know, all these things, and the effect of like an economy, like a law that might get passed, the effect on an economy can be incredibly complicated, and those can very much affect people's lives. And that same mindset where people just blindly accept the Big Bang when they don't understand a damn thing about it, or they might, you know, accept this, that, or the other, can get them to believe that, oh yeah, this economic idea is a good idea, when it may not be a good idea, and might actually be very bad. But there's a lot of things in life that are counterintuitive. That's just a fact. There's things in life that are counterintuitive, where like the human senses will lie to you, where the typical common sense will be wrong, right? There's just certain things in life that are like that. And really the only way for people to get over that is to understand the damn thing, right? And a lot of times people don't want to do that, or they can't do that, and you know, they end up suffering the consequences. And that's why a lot of people believe things that are false. A lot of people, I'm sure I believe something that's false. You know, I'm not able to go around and fact check every little thing and fact check the fact checkers and so on and so forth. So I'm sure there's you know, some belief that I have that is wrong, is incorrect, and that, you know, that happens because it's very easy for humans to be fooled. And it's very easy for humans to be fooled, and there's just a lot of shit in life that is too complicated. All right, what am I doing here? Saber. This might be Jack again. I don't know if they would throw that many bosses at me this early, but we'll start with Geronimo, Anastasia. See if I can bring Alex for the bond. Hopefully I don't need my whole team because my back row is pretty shite. Probably no K-scope because I don't think I have the team cost. Wonder if Salome is good here. Alright, let's do this. I wish the Super Robot Wars on PC, I wish that was some of the older ones. I actually like some of the older ones more. A lot of the franchises that are in the newer one aren't really up my cup of tea. And X Explorer, thank you for the 5 months, man. But yeah, long story short, you know, I think any, you know, teacher will you know, say, you know, when possible, of course you need to try to make things more palatable for the dum-dums to understand, right? Like that's, but some things you really just can't do that with, and you'll lose, right? When if you have you know, if you've got like science versus pseudoscience, if you just dumb it down, it's like what they say, a stupid person, you know, don't argue with a stupid person because they'll drag you down to their level and beat you with more experience. That's a, you know, that's some topics that's just gonna happen, right? Like if you just try to dumb things down, it's gonna look like the pseudoscience is correct, right? That's what's gonna happen sometimes. You know, sometimes the way you know, the reality works, the truth is going to be counterintuitive, and then so when you're both using dumbass, you know, terminology and trying to streamline it, it's going to look like the falsehood is actually true. That's just going to happen sometimes. Now, it's not going to happen all the time. Of course, sometimes it won't work that way. A lot of pseudoscience is nonsense and it's pretty easy to debunk, but you know, some of it isn't, and it's just some things in life are very complicated. And I think relationships are a really good example of this. There's just a lot of human experience that and wisdom that people need to really work at. It's very difficult to become a mature, competent, well-rounded human, right? It's not easy. It really isn't. There's a lot to learn in life. There's a lot of pitfalls. There's a lot of you know, nuance. And for a parent to give real wisdom to their child, you know, there's a lot that needs to be discussed. There's a lot that needs to be experienced. There's a lot of trial and error that needs to happen. You're not going to be able to just, you know, dumb down every little thing and just have your kid magically grow into some great, mature, awesome human being. That's not reality, right? That is a fantasy. You know, sometimes people just have to accept it's not going to be easy. It's a rocky road and shit gets really complicated. Yeah, I don't think our schools these days do a great job with teaching people how to think. You know, I don't think it really. And I think there's a whole problem with the way a lot of people parent. I think parenting is how you fix almost everything, because like it's really easy to see that kids, most of where kids get their maturity and their ideas and their, you know, the foundations, they don't come from school. Most of the foundations for a child come from their parental figures. You know, it doesn't have to be a biological parent, but whoever their you know, guardians are, whoever their parental figures are, they shape their life significantly more than school ever will. It's not even close. I mean, it's not even remotely close. And like how you like fix a lot of, you know, problems in society really does just come down to parents being better, right? And there's almost nothing you can do to replace that.
いおいおい。
For a story roll only account, where would you recommend saving most rolls for? Lost Ball 4. I mean, Jesus. Like, Asclepius is just so helpful. You absolutely want to make sure you get him. Pretty much what I did on the Steno account, I think that's a really meta way to go about it. You know, I did some early rolls to give the account a fundamental base, get a few craft essences. And honestly, how much you roll early on is almost based on what you get, right? If your account is just in the worst shape ever, you might have to just deal with it and keep rolling. But once you get like, okay, this is kind of, you know, I think I can get through Lost Belt 4 with this, then you stop rolling. And then you roll after you beat Lost Belt 4. And then you, after that, you can just roll literally every time you get 30 SQ. Like, the real dream is if you can get by, like, it kind of depends on what you're doing on the account, right? Okay, so you said that one rule is story roll only, okay? But like, are you summoning strong supports? Are you not? Like, what? So if you're summoning strong supports, honestly, you can kind of like not roll at all until you beat Camelot. And then like just roll a little bit to get like maybe a Bedivere copy or two. And then you probably didn't even use all your SQ, and then you keep saving until you beat Lost Belt 4, and then you roll for Asclepius, and then you can just roll whenever the fuck you want. Alright, Billy time. This is probably a boss, but I'm not sure what it would be if it's just a saber. Let's clean up then. Maybe I put 1 Billy in the back. I don't think we'll need it. Okay, let's do that in case someone needs survival. And like they're gonna get NP'd or something. Blood Axe because he has guts, maybe? Pretty low stats now though. Caligula's got better stats, but no guts. He's got invulnerability. Oh yeah, William Tell. Even though he's 23, he's still counterclassing. That's probably good enough there. Yeah, I really think it's like a lot of people that happen to believe the truth. If the people in charge or whatever, or the authorities were feeding them lies, they wouldn't know it. That's kind of my point. It's like, even if the Big Bang turns out to be accurate, a lot of people believe it for no reason, and they have no idea. They literally have no idea why they should believe it or should. Oh yeah, Mordred. But yeah, so they wouldn't even know if they were being lied to. And I think it's, you know, people need to be taught how to, you know, understand things on a deeper level if they think it's important, right? Now, some people might not think knowing if the Big Bang is true or not is important, but there are things in life that are going to come up that they are going to think it's important, and they need to be able to figure out, are people, or the authorities that, you know, that are telling me this or that is true or false, or is this actually right or not? They need to know how to understand it, right? Like because some things again are just complicated, and they're going to need to figure it out if they think it's important. Like, I think constantly dumbing shit down is a real problem. And I've seen people talk about this, and I don't know if there's a good answer. As humanity expands and we have more cities and more fields of science, and we understand more about the universe, and there's more technology and industry and robots and shit, you know, there's so much stuff, it's hard for humans to keep up with it all. You can't understand everything. You only pick and choose the things you're going to be able to understand, right? But the things that you do pick and choose and you do think are important, you need to be able to, you know, dissect and understand on a very deep level. And then, you know, people need to be able to avoid bullshit. You know, it's very, that's why pseudoscience is doing so well these days. Like, and like conspiracy theories are doing so well these days. Because the water is muddied, right? And it's very easy for pseudoscience to sound just as credible as literally anything else, because you know, we're dumbing everything down, and it's because of what's too much stuff to learn. How could we, you know, teach everybody everything? And yeah, I don't even know what the answer to that is, right? It's really difficult to combat misinformation. Like, it's very difficult to combat misinformation in the modern era. Because there's more information out there than ever, and there's more misinformation out there than ever, and it's much easier for misinformation to sneak by now. You know, speaking about being comfortable with failure, that's one thing I love about Dark Souls and those kinds of games, is it is really important to be comfortable with failure. When you look at streamers and people like that try to play Souls games and they can't, and they quit, or they get, you know, frustrated with it, it's normally because they really get upset with, like, dying or failing, or they don't like that they didn't beat the boss or whatever, and that's not always true. Some people just don't like the gameplay style, or the aesthetic, or the music, or the controls. Like, you know, of course, I'm generalizing. You know, there's always exceptions. You know, people have all kinds of reasons for liking or disliking, you know, action games and this, that, and the other. But I see that very frequently. I was actually watching somebody on YouTube just last night that had played Dark Souls in the past, quit, and then was trying it again, and then they quit again, and they just couldn't get through it. And it's, you know, a big part of it is because you could tell they would get very frustrated with failure, right? They would get very frustrated with, you know, dying to the boss and whatnot, where the best way to succeed in Dark Souls, especially if you are struggling with it, because some people, it's just not going to click, right? Some people pick up Dark Souls having never played it, and they do pretty well. Like, yeah, they die here and there, it takes them a second to use the controls, but, you know, they'll go through the playthrough and maybe they only die, you know, 20 times or whatever, maybe not even that, you know, and you're like, yeah, that's more than they might struggle in another game, but it's not that bad, and, you know, they have an easy time. It clicks with them, right? They get what the game's about, they understand, you know, recovery frames and when you're at risk and when you're not. You know, they kind of get the idea behind it. And some people don't, man. And thank you, Boy, for the 38 months. Jesus Christ, that's 3 years of nickels. Oh boy, why? Anyway, but yeah, some people, the game doesn't click with them, right? And they're gonna struggle a lot more. They're gonna die a lot more. And, you know, it's gonna be really hard for them. And, like, the key is, when you're in that situation, is to try to take a breath and look at, okay, I died. Why did I die? Did I roll too soon? Did I roll too late? Should I have blocked? Should I not have blocked? Was I attacking too much? Did I run out of stam? There's all kinds of reasons why you probably died. You know, is the boss doing fire damage? If I'm struggling to dodge it, do I have a fire resist ring I could wear? So if I don't dodge it, I can face tank it better, right? Like, you know, that kind of logical breakdown will allow pretty much anybody to beat Dark Souls, right? You can be very bad at it, bad at the timing, you can have slow reaction time, right, all that stuff, and you'll still be able to beat Dark Souls. It's ultimately not that hard of a game, but it's a great game for teaching people, honestly, like a scientific method in a lot of areas, right? Like trial and error and trying new things and testing things and whatnot. Because there's normally, in Dark Souls, there's normally more than one answer to a problem, but there is right answers and wrong answers, right? There are certain things that just won't work. There are certain bosses and enemies and stuff, if you just mash R1, it just won't work, right? It will fail, and there's, you know, right roll timing and wrong roll timing, and, you know, good counters and bad counters and stuff. Yeah, my friend Tusk, actually, I remember when I got him to play Dark Souls, it very much helped him get just so much better at video games in general, because, like, he's talked about this with me. It's like, before he played that game, you know, he never really knew how to, like, even get good at a game or break it down or figure out what he was doing wrong. You kind of just mash buttons. In most games, you kind of win that way. When he played Dark Souls, he got obliterated, and it got him to just understand how the fuck to, you know, pay attention and play better. And so it made him better like every other video game he played since, really. Kairo's Billy is MP5, so he gets the attack up. Probably should have done the quick chain, but whatever. I've seen that, though, when there is a streamer that is really struggling with Dark Souls, and I wonder if any of you all have seen this. I don't know how many of you all watch people play Dark Souls or games like it too, but I've seen this clear as day. Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, when a streamer is really struggling with it, right? Like, they're not, you can tell they don't really have the mind to really, like, snap with it intuitively. They always go with a strength build with super heavy armor and a great shield. Every time. Like, it is a staple of someone that is having a really hard time with, like, understanding the game on a more fundamental level, or just being patient and, like, not swinging too much, right? And like, they just always want to R1. like DSP, right? You know, like everyone that really struggles with that game always wears stupid heavy armor, great shield, strength weapon, and it's because that's how you have enough stats to face tank and just heal through it ultimately, and just win by mashing, right? Because you ultimately, if you really level up enough, you know, put on the good gear and stuff, that is how you know, you're gonna get through it. But yeah, anytime you watch someone that is really struggling with Dark Souls, they will almost inevitably end up with that kind of build. Now, some people won't. Some people will intentionally not play that way, and even though they're struggling with the game, they still want to, you know, roll and figure things out, and you know, this, that, and the other. Yeah, fighting games are a really good way. I think fighting game fundamentals actually translate to almost every video game. Now, not of course not every video game, especially not like turn-based things, stuff like that. But most live, you know, real-time games, especially action games, I think the fundamentals in fighting games are pretty universal about knowing, like, okay, this action you take, be it a punch in a fighting game or a swing of a sword in an action game or a jump in Mega Man, you know, things have like amount of time where you're vulnerable, where you're not vulnerable, where the enemy's vulnerable, where they're not vulnerable, how long their action takes, right? That whole thing in fighting games, like punishing, blocking, what's safe, not safe, and why it's safe, why it's not safe. Those concepts translate to so many video games, and you don't have to learn them from a fighting game, but fighting games are a really good place to learn them. I'd say fighting games like Dark Souls are probably the most common place for people to learn that stuff. I have not played Bloodborne yet, but from what I've seen of it, and from people that have played it that I know very well, and I've talked to about it, I don't think I'm going to struggle that much with Bloodborne, because I don't ever do heavy armor, like shield spammy stuff anyway. I pretty much always play Souls games. You know, I've done roll only, you know, runs in every Souls game, and I play that way pretty often. So from what I've seen of Bloodborne, the roll is actually stronger in Bloodborne than it is in Dark Souls, which kind of compensates for the fact that you can't block. So I'm not that worried about it, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Bloodborne will give me other issues like that. I don't think the lack of blocking, I don't think is going to give me even the slightest of an issue in Bloodborne, because I'm really comfortable playing that way anyway. But I don't know. Maybe I haven't really seen the enemy design and the boss design in terms of like their movesets and stuff. So if there's like a real, you know, fundamental shift, you know, maybe I'll struggle with it. I have no idea. But honestly, now that, you know, Bloodborne has got a real chance of coming to PC, I'm kind of going to go even more out of my way to... Because I never watched, like, streams of Bloodborne and stuff. I've watched some PvP clips and matches and people break that down and the mechanics of the PvP and stuff. But I've never just sat down and watched, like, the PvE. And now I'm going to really go out of my way not to see that. Because if I ever do get to play it, you know, I want to be as blind as possible with that stuff. I don't normally do armorless because it's completely not meta to do armorless. Like, there's just no point in doing that because PvP is my priority, and although I've done very light builds that, you know, barely, you know, wear anything heavy, it's just, there's no reason to have no armor in PvP under any circumstance. And, like, even when I do low-level stuff, like level 1 stuff, things like that, I'm always going to make the character a PvP character eventually, so there's just no reason. I don't ever to do anything that stupid, right? Because, you know, PvP is always my priority in those games, so. Let's see. Just, Lancer, so I assume it's a boss. Maybe all Berserkers in the back, or maybe, you know, let's do one Saber in the back, and then we'll do Mash in the front. There we go, I like that. And then we'll do Caligula, because he's kind of got good stats now. If he was foed, he'd have 6,000 attack right now. And if you give him a good CE, he'd be about 7,000 attack, so... That is way ahead of most of our other units. Saloma's the only one close. But that's because she is 1k foed, I think. Yeah, she is. So, yeah, Caligula's actually ahead of her now. He used to be so far behind, but... And he'll get even more ahead in his next few levels. Because I think he peaks at like 50, where she goes at a crawl until like the end. At the end, though, they're going to be about the same, but we're not going to be at the end for a while. I mean, here's the thing. I wouldn't say Bastard Sword's going to be in the forefront in Elden Ring. I think it's just a network test. You can probably just get Claymore or whatever. Like, and let's be honest, I feel you, because I'm guessing you like the Bastard Sword, and I've always wanted the Bastard Sword to be good, and I've looked into it in every single Dark Souls game, but it's never been good in any game. I don't think it's going to be good in Elden Ring. I think the only reason it looks like a thing is because it's the only thing available in the network test, and the network test is never even remotely close to what the final game is like. Like, look at Dark Souls 3's network test. It's not true to reality, right? Because every goddamn game, the Bastard Sword is just worse than Claymore every time, right? Or Flamberge or whatever, right? It never. I hate that. And here's how you fix Bastard Sword. It needs to have a different moveset. It needs to stop sharing the moveset with Claymore. It needs to have a different moveset between Straight Sword and Great Swords. That's how you make Bastard Sword worth a damn. But yeah, Bastard Sword's never good. I don't think it's going to be good in Elden Ring. I hope I'm wrong, right? Maybe they do something funky with it, like it's a little bit faster, or you know, it just has like something special about it. But yeah, I think Bastard Sword's going to suck like it always sucks, and it's going to have less range than Claymore. And that, you know, the only reason it's kind of a thing in the network test is because it's the only one you can get, other than like that weird one the boss one. But yeah, I think that's not that's copium. It's not gonna happen. No, the Bastard Sword dream is not Elden Ring. Yeah, I agree. Bastard Sword in like real life is kind of interesting, and it deserves better in video games. But it's not, you know, it's not no one cares, right? Like only a few nerds care, right? Most people see like, you know, they see Claymore and it's like, oh, it's bigger, right? And I like that one, right? Like I know so many people that just drool over the bigger swords, and Claymore specifically even, and I know it's so few people that actually give a shit about Bastard Sword, right? It's not a fantasy hyped weapon. Like it's never hyped in video games and whatnot, so I think it's always gonna suck in the FromSoft games, because they kind of always just use it as like the lower statted Claymore. It's like, okay, you can use it with slightly lower stats, and you know, but it's shorter range and it does less damage, so that's never gonna be meta. What do I give Mash? Maybe K-Scope? Nah, I'll just give her that. Okay, she's not gonna live very long. Let's give her that. And he can have... I wish I had a Gut CE or something like that. It'd be nice cleanup. I want to say Bastard Sword in Dark Souls 3, I want to say it has a lower stam cost per swing, but that's not enough to make it like good. And maybe if they like really played into that in Elden Ring it could matter, but I doubt it. It's not that hard to get endurance, so... Man, Mash got obliterated there. We do that. So far, London's been kind of a cakewalk, honestly, but I know it gets a lot harder as you get through it. And that's how all the stories have been. When we start them, they're easier than the prior one. So far, so good. But I know that's not going to last forever. And Camelot's like the one exception. I know Camelot, you know, it's going to kick our ass from the get-go, but we're actually getting kind of close to Camelot, which is kind of scary. I mean, once London is over, it's just America. America will be all that stands between us and Camelot, so hopefully in the meantime, we need them to do one event that new accounts can do, because Case Files obviously can't do that. But yeah, I think we need one event, at least one event, to just get some mats, some skill gems, right? If we can play one event thoroughly, I think we'll be alright. Yeah, the thing is, after Camelot, the game is structured quite differently. You know, the difficulty's all over the place. You know, Lost Vault 3 is harder than Lost Vault 4, and stuff like that. And then you got, you know, 5.2, which is, you know, consistently difficult. It doesn't really have any filler, and it's a lot harder than stuff before it. But then Lost Vault 6 is easier than Lost Vault 5 until Fluffy, right? So, you know, it's pretty inconsistent after Camelot, where some things are easier and harder and all over the place. Let's see, Lost Vault 1 and 2 are about the same in difficulty, right? And they're not really harder than, you know, Solomon. They're kind of maybe the same. It kind of just depends on what units you have leveled. You know, they're nothing real special, right? They're not that big of a deal.
But then Lost Belt 3 is absolutely harder than 1 and 2. Like, that's just, it's clearly harder than 1 and 2. With some exceptions, with like, if you happen to have the right classes for 3 and you had the wrong classes for 2. Because some of the fights in 3, when I think about it, really aren't that much harder than like Scatty and Valkyrie and stuff like that. But overall, I would say Lost Belt 3 is harder for most players than 1 and 2. And Solomon, right? It's a step up in difficulty. But then Lost Belt 4, although not easy, I would say overall is a step down from Lost Belt 3. You know, God Juno and Limbo might fuck you up, but that's it. That's literally it. Overall, I'd say then, you know, 4 is kind of back to the game being kind of easier again. And then 5-1 is quite easy, and I'd say it's right, you know, there with, you know, Lost Belt 1 and 2, and it's kind of like the same old difficulty of nothing that special until the very end. But then 5-2, all of a sudden the game is much harder. I mean, it's very noticeable difficulty spike in 5-2, but then it goes back to being crazy fucking easy again, all the way until Fluffy. Like, even, like, Morgan is a real boss fight, but she's not harder than what's in 5-2 at all, right? Definitely not, and she's not harder really with what's even in Lost Belt 3, right? Morgan is, I would say, roughly like the difficulty of a Lost Belt 3 fight. Now, maybe harder, maybe easier based on your own units and, like, the way you're approaching it and that kind of stuff. So kind of a side grade, but, you know, Morgan's nothing new, right? It's not like, you know, increasing the difficulty at all. But then Fluffy is. Fluffy, after all of Lost Belt 6, I would say is a downgrade to 5-2 until Fluffy. And it's like, okay, now we're... Now it's getting real. And then let's see, we had the Beach event. I don't know if you want to count that as main story, but if you did, I don't know where the hell I would rate that. It's definitely not as hard as Fluffy. Of course not. But I mean, ultimately, it's not main story, and it's not even main interlude right now, so... But we'll see. I don't know. Lost Belt 7, it might just be back to easy street. We'll see. I hope not. Yeah, when I think about it, the difficulty from Camelot to Lost Belt 6 is pretty weird, and it's pretty inconsistent. Because, I mean, even Camelot is harder than, like Lost Belt 5-1, which is kind of crazy to think, but I think it is, really. Like 5-1, I mean, except for maybe Poseidon, right? Because, for example, now, Camelot is probably more difficult for most people because their account is weaker in Camelot, so obviously there's that, and it's, but it's easier for a support to carry you in Camelot. But anyway, I figure by the time you get to 5-1, your account will be a bit stronger, but regardless, I think 5-1 is just easier until Poseidon. Poseidon is probably harder than most of the fights in Camelot. Not really by leaps and bounds, though. Well, here's the thing. They don't want to ban blue cubes in the main story because they specifically said blue cubes are there for the people that don't actually want a challenge and don't want to deal with these harder boss fights. Like, they said that. That's why they're there. Not basically, they were like, Nasu likes him some Dark Souls and he likes real hard boss fights that give people a sense of accomplishment. But we know some are, now I'm adding some context that they didn't actually say here, but they're like, yeah, we know, you know, some mobile players are plebs and don't want to deal with that at all. They just want easy farmy stuff, and so we're giving them blue cubes so they can just sail through it. Here's the problem, though. There is a lot of players in the middle, right? Like this is a real issue FGO has. This is a real problem, and I don't think they're addressing this very well. So there's a lot of players out there that are not, they're not like really hardcore. You know, they're not worrying about beating the boss with 1 to 3 stars or, you know, beating it min-turn or whatever, right? They just want to get through the content. But they don't mind a healthy challenge, right? They don't mind having to do a fight more than once to figure it out, right? Like they don't want everything to be a cakewalk. That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. And a real problem is a lot of those people, not all of them, but a lot of those people, without even thinking about it, they're not going to put a lot of thought into it one way or the other. They're going to pick the path of least resistance, right? They're going to summon a support that they think is going to be useful. If they have blue cubes, they're going to use them. That's just what it is. If they have blue cubes, they're going to use them, especially because blue cubes are time limited. And so you know you only have them for a while. It's like, oh yeah, might as well use it. And because of that, they're not always going to have as fulfilling of an experience as they would have had if blue cubes just didn't exist, right? And I think that's an issue because they're doing a lot of stuff in the game now that just makes it so easy not to be challenged. You basically have to want a challenge to be challenged in the game now. And I'm not so sure that's a good idea. Now, I'm okay with there being some, ways for people, like, I think command spells are a lot better than blue cubes because there's actually an incentive not to use command spells. And that's because you feel like, oh, if I use them now, what if I need them later, right? Now, obviously, that's not exactly logical, but that's how a lot of people think, and that's why a lot of people don't use them very often. Right, there's no reason not to use blue cubes because they're time limited and, like, the other way. So, yeah, I think whatever way you give people to, like, easy mode it, should not be encouraged, but it should absolutely be available because it's fine for people that absolutely just do not want to deal with hard boss fights to have a workaround. But I don't think it should be encouraged. If anything, I think it should be encouraged to do it the hard way. Like, oh, if you do it the hard way, you get a little bit extra QP. That's not a big deal because if you miss out, like, oh wow, I missed out on 200k QP, who cares? But throw a bone to people that actually want to do it the proper way, so they feel like they're not wasting their time, right? Or they feel like, it's like, okay, at least it's cool to get the reward, that kind of thing. Give them some extra bronze mats, whatever, right? You don't make it anything that people are going to be too mad about if they miss out on, but also something that people at least are like, oh, hey, that's a thing, yeah, why not? We'll try to do this the proper way, right? I think that's the healthier way for a video game to approach this stuff. That way the people that just absolutely are just there for the story, there for their waifu, they can just get through it. And that's that, no problem. But then for the majority of your player base, which are mostly not going to be hardcore or casual, like most people aren't going to be casual scrubs that like, are, baby rage, I can't believe this boss actually requires me to think for 2 seconds, right? Most people aren't like that. Most people are not going to bitch and cry because something's a little bit difficult. Like, not at all. But they're also not going to be, super hardcore, no items, Fox only, Final Destination, they're not going to be that either, right? So I think FGO is kind of over-pandering to the casuals, and I think they're seeing it as very binary, where it's either you're hardcore or you're casual. Like, that's, I think, how they're seeing it, and I think that's really inaccurate. And, yeah, I don't think it's good for the game, so... Yeah, blue cubes are really just... I don't think that was a good move, right? I think CS was fine. Like, I think CS really is a way to cruise on through, if need be. Alright, what do we give the back row? Still a little pushed on team costs, so okay, let's do it like that. Alright, that's good. This is probably a boss. Please don't be Babbage. I mean, some things are binary, right? Some things are very black and white and cut and dry, right? It just depends, Some things are, some things aren't, and you gotta be able to figure out what is and isn't. But I tell you what is not going to be, really clear, black and white, is your player base. Your player base is going to have a lot of exceptions and, different people wanting different things and, at different paces, right? Like, that's always going to be all over the place. Okay, that is not Babbage. That is a book, and I think you fight her again right after. Alright, I've got a Brave Chain. Do I want to double Charisma, or do I want to wait until I know I'll get the NP? I feel like Alex in the back will get his NP within 3 turns. And wait a minute, though. Alex in the back is NP 1. Okay, I regret it already. If this was the other Alex getting the Brave Chain, I think we should have done the Charisma, but because it's the back Alex, I don't think I should have done that. Because, I mean, it's fine. Like, it's not that much health on the boss, and our normal attacks are going to do about as much as our NP at this point, so it's not that big of a deal.
よし行こう行こう
3 redheads beating up a book. Yeah, that is what's happening right now. How important is getting Anniversary Blonde for this account? This account? I mean, this account already has it, so... technically it's not important at all because I already have it, so, that's that. But if I didn't have it, I'd say it's pretty important because it's one of the only ways we're going to enable critting, and sometimes Guts is just really good, and, yeah, I mean, seriously, Guts is a huge lifesaver sometimes, so, yeah, it can be really important. As for anyone else playing the game, it really comes down to, what your account is. How many Buster units do you have that you like? How many supports do you have? How many Star Bomb CEs do you have? For example, let's say you've got Merlin, let's say you've got multiple Star Bomb CEs, and you've only got a few Buster Buster units to really care about, you probably can get away with not having Anniversary Blonde. Yeah, sure, there might be a situation here and there where it'd be the best Mystic code for you, but the other stuff's good enough, and Merlin's so good that, you know, you're probably fine. But if you're like, oh my god, my favorite character ever is Hijikata, and I want to always make sure I've got the best options for him ever, then you absolutely want to get Anniversary Blonde. Or if you just have a very, very large number of Buster units, then it makes a lot of sense, because sometimes it's just clearly going to be the best pick, and then, you know, having Guts is good. Overall, though, I think all accounts should probably work towards getting Anniversary Blonde, because it's just good to have a Mystico that has Guts on it sometimes. Right? You never know when there's going to be a new challenge quest coming down the pipeline, and you're going to want that in your back pocket just in case. So I think everybody should try to get it eventually. Now, maybe it's not the first thing you do with Rare Prisms. Maybe you don't burn that unit you're on the fence about to get it. But, you know, you're going to get Rare Prisms eventually. Like, the Case Files event. If you've already done Case Files, you're gonna get like 6 Rare Prisms from it, and potentially more. So there you go. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to burn a damn thing. You're just going to get 6 Rare Prisms for free. And you might say, well, I didn't do Case Files. Yeah, but you've done something. You know, everyone's done some events, and eventually they're going to get rerun. And, you know, eventually it's going to be something that had a welfare in it, or command codes in it. And you get a Rare Prism for a 5-star command code you've already got, and you get a Rare Prism for every copy of a welfare you've already got. So everybody's getting Rare Prisms, even if you don't burn a damn thing. It's going to take a minute. I hope that you buff some people for Case Files. Okay, I think we're fighting regular book in her, like, second stage now. I mean, like, they're adding an extra, like, side episode in Case Files like they did with CCC. I don't know if it's gonna be as big or smaller or what, no idea. But, so maybe they're putting in some effort. So I think that would increase the odds of us getting a buff. I'm worried though Waver's not getting an animation update because they didn't show it during the stream. Now sometimes they don't show animation updates during the stream, but because he's a 5-star, I don't know. But maybe it wasn't finished yet, and it's like it's almost finished, and that's why they didn't show it. But I don't know. I'm feeling like he's not getting an update, which kind of sucks. Maybe he did a buff and no animation update. I'm not sure they're gonna buff Waver though. I think they kind of want Waver to be weaker than the other big supports because he's unlimited. And honestly, because like he's good. That's the thing. He may be, you know, no Castoria, but he's still really, really good. And he can easily enable 3-turn farming, like absolutely. And he can be extremely impactful on some really nasty challenge quests, even like big stuff like you know, Zeus, Fluffy, Veach, all that stuff, right? You can absolutely make those fights easier. So I don't think he needs a buff. I really don't. Like, I'm not gonna cry if he does get buffed, but really, I actually think Waver, as good as Waver is, I think that should be the cap on how good a support should be able to be. Like, I don't think we ever should have had Merlin and Castoria levels of broken. Because Waver was already pushing it, really. And the fact that we pushed so far beyond that, I think is just kind of silly. Alright, fire everything. Yeah, Waver is like, even Waver is kind of stronger than we need. But like, that's a kind of okay for the 5-star supports to be a little, you know, overpowered. I think people want their favorite, you know, 5-stars to be as strong as possible, but you gotta range, you know, the developer has to know the limit, right? Where something is too far and it makes the game too boring or too samey. But yeah, people want their toys to be strong. Use Brave Chain here. I'm gonna be right back. I need to take care of something in real life real fast. Won't take very long. One moment. Allergy stuff. Alright, I'm back.
She has massive defense up here. If we had Alexander's buff, we could remove those, but guys, what are we, that wasn't guard, by the way, because I know she's got this, but that wasn't guard, that was miss. So they would not have landed it anyway. Okay, Boudica, go Burr. I don't know why I didn't bring Origin Bullet. Man, I really wish Boudica had gotten a good animation update. Like, she's just such an underrated, like, unit, and she does have kind of neat gameplay. And, you know, she's just good old, you know, sword and shield, you know, there's a lot of potential there. And her arcade animations are actually pretty good. If she could have gotten animations, like, on par with Caligula, obviously not like Caligula's, because she's not a raging lunatic, but, you know, that kind of effort put into them, that would have been nice. But yeah, she sadly has some of the laziest animations in the game, and I've seen people say it's like, oh, but it's like, you know, her choreography should be more meat and potatoes. That's not the problem. It's not like the choreography or the fact that she's, you know, not doing backflips and stuff. Actually, funnily enough, she is doing backflips, but it's the effort put into them, right? It's fine for her animations to be more simplistic and, you know, more straightforward, you know, smack, smack, bang, bang, but, you know, there's just so little effort put into them. They look very stiff and, you know, statue of Boudica, right? Like, that's the problem. Because, like, Lancelot doesn't have very fancy animations ultimately, right? He's just hitting him with the sword. But at least they actually reanimated his torso sometimes, so, you know, he can have a bit more, you know, fluidity to it. Where Boudica is just, like, the stiffest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, her backflip is so bad. Especially when it's in slow-mo and you really look at it, it's like, oh no, what is happening? Oh crap, we're about to get booked. About to book us a flight to hell. Yeah, I'm a little worried about, Faker. Her NP looks pretty bad to me. I mean, like, it's kind of cool with, like, just the red stuff and everything, but, you know, it looks like Scat's extra attack, where they're just going out of their way not to do anything, so, yeah, I'm kind of worried that she's gonna be lazy as fuck. A lot of their animations recently have been lazy as fuck. Like, a lot of them have been lazy as fuck, so I think it's just a consequence of, like, this situation DW's in right now, and, like, I think they've definitely had staff issues, and with the transfer getting ready to happen and everything, I think it's going to be like this for a while. I think for a while we're going to get a lot of phoned-in events and content, and, you know, I'm sure they'll sneak in a few good animations here and there, and some good content here and there, but I do think overall it's going to be a rough period, but it'll hopefully get better. Here, we'll slow-mo Boudica here, and I can that's what I'm talking about. Like, during her backflip, they clearly need to reanimate, like, her hips and her chest to change perspective and stuff, and, like, her knees, but they don't. Like, they don't at all. It's just pure paper mistake. Like, she is reanimated so rarely. Like, almost never do they reanimate her her body parts, and so it makes it look very awkward. The blue period of FGO. So that's kind of cool that Nash can cover Boudica for 2 turns there. You get the 1 turn which gives invulnerability so she can't die, then you have the taunt turn. And then hopefully we can kill the boss here. Actually, Book gave us way more trouble than I thought. I wasn't taking it as seriously as maybe I should have, but we actually weren't doing so hot here. Like, Alex is dead, Boudica and Nash could die any second, so we didn't down 3 units. And we didn't have any of the riders in the back, so. Do you need to use OG Saber in Lost Belt 7? I don't know. I honestly think we should use her for something because, look, I'm not even an Artoria fan. I'm literally not an Artoria fan. But I think they blatantly should use Artoria at some point in the Lost Belts because she's very popular. And just like everyone else, she deserves screen time. Just because she's really popular and they make a million clones of her, that doesn't, because I know there's a lot of people out there, like I'm sure there's some of you in chat right now, that you really like OG Artoria, right? But you don't actually care that much about all the Artoria faces, and some of you probably actually see it as more of taking away from the damn thing, and you just want more regular Artoria for God's sakes. And every time they add some, you know, space Artoria, I'm that person green. Yeah, I figured. I knew there's some of you out there, right? And like they're never getting any of the thing that they want. It's kind of like when you're like, okay, get pie for the party. Like, okay, get pie for the party, and then they get cake for the party, and like it's the same thing. It's not the same thing, right? You know, there's no reason why she can't get screen time at some point through FGO's 7 years of storytelling, right? And then honestly, because she is so popular and she is so fundamental and all these things, it's like she really deserves it. And she's on the cover of the Lost Belts, right? She is literally the center of the cover of the Lost Belts. And it is very cheap to try to get that hype from, because they know everyone likes Artoria. They know that. That's why she's like the face of the app, and like they use her for marketing. They're so happy to use Artoria for marketing. They'll make cardboard cutouts out of her in the event like live events and stuff. And you know, they get her voice actress all the time and all this stuff. So they know everyone likes Artoria, and they're trying to get that money from Artoria, but then they don't want to give her any fucking actual screen time in the goddamn game. They want people that watch Fate Zero or Fate Stay Night, you know, the anime or the visual novel or whatever, because they know a lot of people that watch and read that stuff are going to like Artoria. They want those people to see that, like, oh man, Artoria's awesome. And then they want to see the app for FGO, like, oh, Artoria's on the cover, let's more Artoria stuff, right? And they get into the game, and then the game is just like, debated, there ain't no fucking Artoria here, right? Like, they know what they're doing. They want people to think that there's Artoria and FGO. They want that, and then they don't actually want to put Artoria in FGO. You know, it's kind of dumb. And again, I'm not an Artoria fan. You know, but I'm like, yeah, no, she needs to be in the main story and not in some stupid there for 9 seconds, waves at MASH, and then hands MASH Excalibur, and then MASH killed, like, no. Like, Jesus Christ, you know, use Artoria as an actual character, for God's sakes. And yeah, I don't know though. It wouldn't shock me if they either never do it or she's just there in a very vague way. Now, and she doesn't have to be like the main character, but she still needs like an actual, you know, role in the goddamn story, and seeing how she plays, like, I don't understand it. It's like Artoria and her own ideals and like how she views the world, and like even like her and the true ending and everything, you know, that's an interesting character to see how she plays off of and interacts with a lot of the new characters and the new antagonists and everything. You know, she doesn't have to be the center of the story to still have an interesting role in it and have a major role in it and have some fight scenes, and you know, you can have some interesting conversations between her and, you know, any number of characters. You know, she does, like, it's easy to use Artoria, right? Like, again, I'm not even an Artoria fan, and it's like, but she's still, like, the conversations between Iskandar and Artoria and Fate Zero are really interesting, and it's because, like, she's a really good springboard character to have, you know, a conversation with and have different ideals going around here. It works really well, right? So she's like the easiest character ever to reuse, and they never use her for anything, so... yeah, I don't even get it. Yeah, I swear she's gonna show up and like use Excalibur or give it to MASH or something stupid, and then that's it. Oh god. I mean, you know, sometimes a cameo can be cool and it can be handled well, but yeah, I don't know if that'd be too satisfying for a lot of people. Chat, maybe they're gonna have like a no Fate home, and they're gonna have Artoria and Arthur team up to fight the Green Knight and Hokusai, and you know, that'll be a whole shtick, right? And like they'll both get good characterization and you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, big climactic ending with like double Excalibur, right? You know, that could be pretty good. I would watch that. I mean, seriously, I'm not, memes aside, because you know, there was a healthy dose of memes in there, but you absolutely could do a story where you kind of fuse like regular Camelot stuff with prototype Camelot stuff, and then like some big baddie stuff, right? And you could have like, you know, there's a lot of potential there. You can go a lot of different directions with it. That could be pretty awesome, but I don't agree with having
But yeah, not gonna happen. Also, whatever happened to like Robin Hood? Like, that's a good character. Like, that's a good character. I think Robin Hood is like Emiya, but significantly more interesting and better written. Like, seriously, I think Robin is just way better Emiya. And he's also based on something. And then there's like all the, you know, Nottingham. Why can't we have a singularity set in Nottingham? Then have the sheriff of like have the sheriff, you know, and you can have you know, little John, you know, and then at the end you can have Richard. I mean, fuck yes, like, and then you can throw in some, you know, curveballs, you know, some other you know, myths mixed in there. That'd be awesome. Like, fuck yeah. I mean, they'll probably make it weaves, let's be honest, but you know, it doesn't have to be weaves mixed in. It can be anything. But yeah, that's not gonna happen either. They don't really ever use Fates of the Night characters because they always use the alternate versions of them. They use like Caster Ku, not Lancer Ku. They use Medea Lily, not Medea, right? They use Medusa Lily, not Medusa. That's what they always do. Like, Fate's Day Night specifically gets targeted that way. I think, and like, 'cause in a long time ago, Nasu said he was like intentionally not using Fate's Day Night stuff because they, you know, they'd already gotten, you know, their screen time and they wanted to, you know, give other people the spotlight. But the thing is, you know, I think it's been enough time that doesn't really matter anymore. And also, I cannot stress this enough, people want to see the new interact with the old. Because that's awesome. Of course that's fucking awesome, right? Like, hello? And also, there's a lot of stuff in Fate's Day Night that didn't really get their due. Like, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Ku fan. I do not think Ku ever got his moment at all. They never really explained half of his abilities. Most people have no idea what his powers are. He never really got a good fight scene. You know, he never got to fight at full strength. It's, like, it sucks. Like, Ku, and he didn't really do anything in Fate Hollow, right? Like, fuck. And there's several characters in Fate's Day Night like that where they never really got their moment. Q had his moment off screen. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Gil thing is kind of his moment, but yeah, you have to read about that from Nasu. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, Medea kinda has some moments, but yeah, she doesn't really have. She had a lot more in Fate Hollow than Ku did. Like, she had a lot more screen time there, and like, she's the first regular servant to get her memories back, and also just to notice something is going wrong. Obviously, Gil has it from the beginning, but that is not normal. But for everyone else, right? Medea's the one that started figuring that shit out, and you know, she got at least some fight scenes a little bit, nothing too fleshed out, but yeah, I guess Herc doesn't really get a moment either. Yeah, Herc, Medea, and Ku are probably the three that have gotten shafted the hardest. I would say Ku and Herc are definitely the ones that got shafted. Okay, Herc is the most shafted, okay? Herc, absolutely the most shafted in Fate's Day Night. Not even close. And he actually he got more shafted in the animes. The animes made it worse. They made him look even weaker, and they you know, obscured information to make Herc look worse. And, you know, it's so... Herc is absolutely the most shafted. But then probably Ku, and then probably Medea. And then after that, I mean, everyone after that, I guess, is in fairly good shape. Maybe not some of the masters, but the rest of this... I mean, I don't know, Kojiro actually hasn't maybe had a whole lot. Let's see. Yeah, I'd probably say Herc is the most shafted, then probably Ku, then maybe even Kojiro, then Medea. That's probably... Kursar's not that bad though, like, because he does have Heaven's Feel, and like, yeah, he doesn't get like that much screen time, but he gets to do more in Heaven's Feel than a lot of the other people get to do ever. I actually think Kojiro versus Saber is best in Fate's Day Night. I'm absolutely serious about that. Because it actually fits better in the Fate route than it does in the Unlimited Blade Works route, and they kind of, you know, fused it. And like, having like the natural first time seeing Kojiro in like the Fate route, and that leading into the climactic ending from Unlimited Blade Works, that worked so well. And thankfully for both the dub and the sub, the voice actor kills it. So yeah, I really like Kojiro in Demon Day Night. I think they actually nailed everything there. But yeah, that is really cool. Kojiro's bit there is really cool. But you gotta admit that first off, that's basically his only fight scene, and it's always with the same character, right? You never see his other fights, because Kojiro is actually the servant that like fights the most, but you never see any of the fights, and that's kind of lame. And so yeah, his fight with Saber is cool, but it'd be nice to see him do some other stuff too. Like, I think everyone would like to see how Kojiro fights the other servants, right? And that the interaction he would have with them, both in like fighting and talking, would be really interesting. So it's such a shame that we don't really ever get any of that. And also, Kojiro is obviously crazy handicapped. He's not summoned properly, so his stats are messed up. He doesn't have his class skills like he's supposed to. He can't leave the gate. There's all this stuff. It'd be nice if Kojiro could get, a little, yeah, I think part of what makes Kojiro cool is the fact that he's not working with, he doesn't have a noble phantasm. He's not a heroic spirit. He's a wraith, right? But yeah, it'd still be nice if like he could like not be tied to the gate, right? That'd be nice or something, just something. There's things you could do with Kojiro, because like obviously in Fates of Night it makes sense that he never leaves the gate. But like if you could use him in the story, like yeah, he's in Shimosa, but very very little. And there's certainly more you could do with Kojiro. Like why can't we have Kojiro in a main story on like the good guy's side and actually give him a lot of screen time and stuff? Like why not? He's a really interesting guy. Like seriously, he's one of my favorite characters in Fates of Night. I think he's like really interesting. I love how he is not on the same wavelength as anyone in Fates of Night at all, right? His priorities, what he cares about, his views on magic and everything, and the view on the Grail, he is just not like anybody, right? He is so like removed from what everyone else is worrying about. And there's a lot of characters like, Ku that don't care about the Grail and stuff, but, he's still kind of, in the mainstream with, like, understanding magic and wanting to follow the rules and stuff like that. Kojiro is very unique. He's very much a monkey wrench in Fates Stay Night. And then with, like, his ideology and his insane, skill, it's very cool, right? He's, like, awesome. So, yeah, more of that would be nice, thank you. Alright, Boudica doesn't make any sense. Not sure I have a unit that does make sense. I guess Jason just because... Oh wait, no. Right, Jason's the DPS now. Oh god. I guess Caligula just goes stat stick. Well, I wouldn't want someone to come from outside the Grail War to body everyone, because that's just stupid, because there's some things in that Grail War that should never be bodied under any circumstance, like Hercules or Gilgamesh. That's just dumb. But, a monkey wrench route would be kind of fun. But really, what I actually would want them to do is to literally make a fourth route that's just a more full route, that's more like standalone, like Fate Zero is standalone, right? You don't need a bunch of alternate paths in Fate Zero to give everyone screen time. Right, I would like an ultimate Fate route where, all the characters get used intelligently, you get like a, and don't do anything too weird. Don't, just let a good route happen that's a nice starting point for the series. Characters get screen time, you get some good fight scenes, you get some good characterization for everybody. Artoria doesn't have to fight everyone. You can have Ku fight Medusa, you can have this fight, get some shit going here. Get some nice character development for everybody. Just a nice, fourth route like that, I think, because they need a better entry point into the series, and I think that would be the way to do it. And maybe do one thing. Do like one thing, like maybe one new servant is thrown in or whatever. You could add in one little thing, but I really think that would be good for Fate Stay Night and just a good entry point. They need like a universal, this is where you start Fate, and I think a new route. Now, you could update the Fate route as well. It's another way to do it, but I don't know, I think a new route would be kind of cool. God, can you guys imagine if they made a fourth route for Fate and they're trying to make it like that go-to standalone route that kind of just gives you the Fates Night experience? Can you imagine if they did that and they shafted Herc again? Like, can you imagine if like it's all good, you know, and pretty much everyone got, you know, a good shake in terms of like getting to show off their character and all that, but the one character that just gets completely shafted is her. Right, you know, oh my god, that'd be so lame, dude. That'd be so fucking lame. You know they would. I mean, if I had to pick someone that would get shafted, it probably would be Herc. It probably would be. But yeah, I would really like a Fate route that's like standalone, like how Fate Zero is standalone, right? And it just gives you a complete. Because, you know, not everyone in Fate Zero necessarily, you know, accomplishes some great feat, but everyone in Fate Zero gets screen time, character development, and, you know, Artoria isn't the one that does everything, and so on and so forth. So, you know, it's a nice, good, you know, package. You know, you can absolutely do that with Fate, and I think they could really use that. Because a lot of stuff I feel is pretty untapped. I think people wanted to see more of, you know, Ku and Emiya even. Certainly more with Herc. You know, there's still a lot of different, you know, fights and things that could, developments that could happen. And yeah, like a good entry point, you know, a nice classical story, I think, would go well. But unfortunately, Time Moon is pretty obsessed these days with not doing classical stuff and quite the opposite, so this is all a pipe dream. Now, I think what might happen someday, like, I think a fourth route probably won't happen because Time Moon is just too obsessed with doing weird shit. I think what is possible is at some point, Time Moon gives the green light for an anime studio to do like a remastered Fate route. I think that might happen. Because the Fate route, obviously Dean's Tonight's quite old, you know, it's like early 2000s animation and stuff like that. So and maybe Nasu plays a little role in it with like, you know, some minor changes and like some scenes that he wants to see. So some, to kind of, you know, let them run with it. I could see that happening. I could absolutely see that happening where they make a remastered Fate route and they kind of use that as like a, kind of how, what is it, Tsukihime, you know, it's still very much Tsukihime, but, you know, they twinked it a bit, you know, with the remake. I could see them doing something like that with the Fate route, and maybe that turns out into something good, but it also could be really fucking stupid, because the Fate route's the Fate route, but we'll see. Oh, I am well aware that Lost Ball 3 is written by the guy that wrote Fate Zero. I know pretty much more of everything that guy has done. And honestly, I think Fate Zero is great, but I just think he really phoned it in with Lost Ball 3. Now, it may not be his fault, right? You know, you have no idea what the work conditions were like, the time frame is like. There's so many things that go into that. Yeah, Lost Ball 3 feels very unpolished. Yeah, I think a Fate route touch-up is a lot more likely than a fourth route. I would guess that no fourth route will ever happen. But a touched-up Fate route probably will eventually. Now, it could be a while, you know, it's hard to say. But that would be my guess. Now, you know, you never know. Like Jesus Christ, as the years go on, all kinds of crazy shit can happen. But really, what I would rather see is I'd rather they just, you know, clean up, you know, make a fourth route for the Fate route like that. Have a nice starting. This is where you start the Fate series if you want to get into it. And it's a good complete story on its own. It's, you know, new or old fan. And then don't do anything else with Fate Tonight. That's it. You're done. Right now, make new shit. Right? You know, go make Tsukihime. Go make that witch thing. If you do more Fate, then do Fate Laundry Basket. Right? You know, just. But get a definitive Fate Tonight thing out there. That needs to happen because it is the backbone of the series. It doesn't have a definitive, you know, starting point. There's some, you know, the visual novel hasn't aged that well. You know, Dean's Tonight's really old, all that stuff. You know, they need something that's like nice, timeless, core starting point. You know, a nice, clean version of Fate Tonight, and then you work on other shit. Yeah, prototype would be nice, but you know, one of these days. Fate Laundry Basket with Bob as the protagonist. We're getting too deep here. If we get a Fate route, it will have the same treatment as the new Tsukihime. I would think so. Like, they probably, you know, touch stuff like that. Oh yeah, that's very true. Like, Nasu would not ever really let on that he was displeased with someone else's work, and that's not just Nasu, that's Japanese culture. very rarely will professionals, you know, make it clear that they disapprove or don't like someone else's work, right? Like, you know, I always, you know, I'm a big fan of Dark Souls, right? And like, you know, Miyazaki did an interview recently and he was asked about the Demon Souls remake. That was a pretty democratic answer that he gave, and there's just no world where if he was happy or unhappy with it, where he would say, like, if he was unhappy with it, right? He's never gonna say, oh yeah, I don't think they understand the art direction of Demon Souls, and I don't think they get the soul of it, Keck. And yeah, I'm not a fan of the remake. He's not gonna say that. That's like diplomatic suicide, right? Like, especially in Japanese culture. That's never gonna happen, right? Like that's not a thing. And actually, I don't like that about Japanese culture, to be honest. I think they're kind of overly diplomatic about everything, and they're overly like appearances, you know, and like everyone on the surface acting like to get along and stuff. That's a very Japanese thing. That's a big thing in their culture, and I don't like it. I truly don't like it. I'm not one of those people who just blindly thinks Japan is awesome and everything. You know, they're not perfect at all, and that's something I really do not like about Japanese culture. Now, don't get me wrong, I can think of all kinds of things I don't like about any culture, including my own. Hello, Twitter. How are you doing? You know, all that shit. You know, plenty of ups and downs here, but I do like how in the West it is. The West can do it as well, though. There's plenty of people in the West that are going to be very diplomatic and, you know, not give a straight answer. But there's also people out there that are mainstream or, you know, big creators or whatever that will just like, oh yeah, I don't like that song. Oh yeah, no, I don't like that movie, right? They'll say that. That actually happens. You know, you can notice the real ones over here, right? If you will. You know, there's game developers that will just, you know, speak pretty freely about, yeah, this area of the game industry is not very healthy, right? Like, that'll happen. And that's nice that it at least exists to some extent over here. Like, of course, there's still a lot of diplomatic speak and people not, you know, coming out and saying negative things or whatever. But there is more, you know, truth to power, if you will, over here than there is in Japan. And it's pretty noticeable difference, I would say. But yeah, we obviously, you know, there's plenty of problems around the world, right? Ain't nobody got it right. Yeah, I'm very not politically correct. I don't know, though. I guess it depends on what you feel about politically correct. It's not like I go out of my way to alienate people, right? I don't go around insulting people's, you know, sexuality or, you know, race or whatever. I don't do any of that nonsense. But I'm not worried about, like, stepping on toes, right? If I think something is true, I'm going to say it. If I think a game is bad, I'm going to say it. If I think an idea is bad, I think if someone's rude in my chat, I'm going to say I think they're rude. I'm not, and you know, if I think they're punching at me, I'll punch back, right? Obviously, but I don't think that's politically incorrect, right? But yeah, anyway, yeah, Nasu is definitely not gonna say, oh man, that writer of X story did a shitty job. That's never gonna happen. Even if he feels that way, it's just not gonna happen. Okay, yeah, maybe I like 1, 2, 3 is right about that one. Maybe I'm a little CE-ist. Imagine not having Golden Sumo. These plebs, man. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do your extra attack and you're not gonna have your CE affecting it? Like you let your little buster up, only affecting your NP and your red cards? Amazing. Don't worry, guys. You can use that 1-star CE that gives you 4% attack up. That'll do it. Unsubscribing feels bad. Jokes aside, though, they really do need to add Golden Sumo. Like a main interlude or a rerun or whatever. Like the collection event like Liz had. They need to do something. Cause it's not OP. I always say this, but Golden Sumo is not OP at all. It's just like such a good backbone CE that's good in almost any situation. That it's such a nice universal option to have. Like, I don't know what to put on this guy, so just give him Golden Sumo, right? It's really nice like that. So it's such a great CE for everybody to have access to. It's like the best CE for everyone to have access to. Let's go, Buster up. You know what? Let's see if we can do 7K with the Buster Chain bonus. I don't think he can, but yeah, no. Okay, well, Perk got that. Man, if I could give people, if I could snap my fingers and spawn Golden Sumo for people, if someone gave me a proper green cake, that would be good enough for them to get a Golden Sumo. Now, pie is better than cake, but, you know, the green is the effort here that matters, so. Chat, do you think we're getting a Tsukihime remake? Not remake, well, actually, yeah, Tsukihime remake collab this year in FGO. I actually think yes. I think it's happening because it looks like Arc is one of the silhouettes, and sure, she could be added for another reason, but it's probably going to be the collab. And with, you know, them still hyping it up, and them, I'm surely wanting more sales from it, and there's probably going to be like a DLC route or whatever. It just makes sense. So yeah, I think it is the next collab, which actually makes me sad. And sure, there's some stuff in Tsukihime that I'd be happy to see in FGO and whatnot, but I really want a Fate Hollow collab or a Fate Prototype collab. I mean, or a Fate Strange Fate collab, but that's not going to happen for a little while. So, but yeah, for the things that can happen, I love a Fate Hollow one because we'll probably get Hawaiian Shirt Coup finally then, for God's sakes. And maybe Bazette, you know, that'd be cool. So chat, out of the Tsukihime stuff that could get added in a collab, what would you want in the most? So if other, you know, Nero Chaos, if you want to call him that, if he could get in, that would be pretty cool. What's her name? CL or whatever, she's okay. Oh god, that's about it though. Most of the other stuff that I would want in is from Melty Blood, and it's not technically in. Because like, Knight of, you know, whatever the hell, you know, he's cool. Roast Beef is cool, but they're not technically in Tsukihime. Yeah, they're in Melty Blood, so that wouldn't count. Like, I don't think Scion would count either. But yeah, I don't really care that much about Arc. I know a lot of people like Arc, but I don't like the Shiki and Tsukihime. And then Ro, I don't know, man. He's pretty weird in the remake in Melty Blood. Like, I don't know. He's got cool powers. Like in the Melty Blood fighting game, his powers are pretty cool, you know? Like his combat moves are fun. But he's like that really weird rock star that has just taken way too many drugs. Just way too many drugs. Like that's Ro, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I would roll for that. I would actually like CL more than him, but I think Nero Chaos might be the one I would want the most. Yeah, I like the other one better, but Edmund killed him, so rip. That he got deleted from the franchise and he got replaced by the new one, clearly. Can I work in my Anastasia? Kind of team cost hell, but I think I can make this work here. And this song is awesome. That's the old school Armored Core right there. Armored Core Nexus. Is she, I don't know, does she count as Tsukihime, Oko, however you say her name? Does she count? I mean, I know she's in it, but I mean, barely. I'm not sure that would count. Although, would they care? Would they add her just because they know she'll, I mean, she will sell like nothing else. Oh my god, like the money that would come. Like, I mean, she's done a lot of things, right? Like, where she really got screen time was the whatever the fuck it's called. You know, the witch one, right? That's where she got real screen time. But she's in Tsukihime, and that's where she was, like, conceived, like, the idea of the character, but she didn't play any major role, really, like, flashback stuff. And I can't remember, does she play, I mean, I know she's in Melty Blood now, but I don't know if she plays much of a role in the older ones, really. I think, again, just flashback stuff. Yeah, I don't know, maybe they would save her for that if they did a collab. Oh, God, chat, whoa! What if... Oh, fuck. What if they do a Tsukihime collab, and then they collab with that thing, and then like it's like 9 years later, and then maybe we finally collab with Prototype or Hollow. Like I don't mind the other stuff, but shit, man, can we get some of that stuff in the game? Like, fuck. Like, I don't want those back to back. That's not my cup of tea. God, and we had the chat. Look at this. We had the idol event, right? I don't want to go idol event, Tsukihime, and the witch thing, right? That's 3 years of absolutely not stuff I care about, right? That. Not to be a selfish dick, but that's a lot of bullshit. Like, can we get some goddamn, Proto-Coup, thank you, the Proto-Coup relevance in 2027. Oh, God. I mean, dude, Proto-Coup is, like, in my, absolute top favorites here. And he's still got day one animations. And then I want Arthur's story to happen, for God's sakes. I want to see the Beast do stuff. And Hawaiian Shirt Coup and Bizette. Remember Bizette? That was a cool character. Punch things. It's nice. Maybe they'll just add Hawaiian Shirt Coup for summer, but man, they've had so many opportunities to add it in summer and they haven't, that I feel like they're saving it for Fate Hollow, but I don't know if they're ever saving Fate Hollow now. Oh god, they're making the anime. They're making an anime of that one thing, so that would make sense if they make a collab with it next year. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is not a good time. That actually makes a lot of sense. That would make so much sense if they did Tsukihime into that, because like with the anime and then the visual novel just coming out, like that is so like what they would do. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this. I don't mind either of them, but like there's not gonna be a lot in those that I care about. Space Bizette, that would suck. I just want regular Bizette, dude. Her combat abilities are really cool. Like runs, glowy blue lasers, and lots of punching. Like cool suit. You don't. What else do you need, right? Like we don't need any extra bullshit here. Oh yeah, this music is a bunch of dead space at the end of it. Oh yeah, I'm sure there will be a lot of art in the Tsukihime collab, but we'll see. There's no telling how they might want to focus on something different just because the visual novel already exists. Like, she'll certainly be in it, of course, but it wouldn't shock me if someone else gets the spotlight. Chat, I will be so annoyed. What's the Noelle? If they add Noelle into FGO, I'm gonna be so mad. Like, I'm not even a Tsukihime fan, but I'm like, there's so many things from Tsukihime that have existed for so long. If they put the shit in FGO, that's the stuff they just pulled out of their ass 5 minutes ago, I'm not just... Not big on that. Not big on that. Like, imagine, like, you don't put in, like, some of the classical stuff, right? But you put the new kids in, like, oh god. Yeah, if they did it in the rerun, that wouldn't bother me. But yeah, if that was in the original, I'd be pissed. Okay, this looks like a Berserker moment. I thought Cairo said he leveled her, but I don't know. Her stats are still pretty good. I actually think it might be time for Leonidas. Go Leo with Outrage into Mash, and then Rider cleanup, I think. Who's my best solo rider? Probably Bodica, because she has guts. 4,000. His 5,000 attack is pretty legit. We'll do that. And in case there's still an assassin giving us problems, we'll do Geronimo there. I like this. This seems good. Isn't one of the DLC for Melty Blood just Noelle again? Like, she's already a new character, and they just added the new character again. It's like, okay. That's awfully Blaze Blue of you.
首をくれるのありがとう楽しいでしょ
You know, maybe I shouldn't cast that because we actually have 2 turns of taunt, not 1.
遊びましょうどう
When Blaze Blue has a million versions of the same character, they're not DLC off memory. It's normally just like default stuff. I don't think we guts because I don't want Leonidas to live forever. We don't need it. I don't know why I'm using his art card.
気持ちがいい
If I had given him starting NP, that would make sense. Okay, see, now I should have cast her invulnerability, but we're kind of just wasting it here.
気持ちがいい遊びましょうよ
Now, New is default, and so is Lambda. They were both default. The thing is, New was just, like, New is the main antagonist, actually, of the first game. She's the main antagonist of the first game. And then she's not in a game, in the flesh for a while. Like, she wasn't playable for a while. Though, funnily enough, people don't realize this. It's crazy how many BlazBlue fans don't notice this. But Lambda basically isn't in the game that she's in. If that, I don't know how to explain this. Okay, so basically, New like dies in the first game, and then Lambda is like another, you know, a different like robot that's just like the same series as her, but she's a different one. She's also not crazy, by the way. But like at the very start of the story, the stupid what's her name, Kokanoe, like soul murders Lambda and then shoves New's soul into Lambda, and it's fucking New for the entire story. Lambda is in one scene of the game that she debuts in, and then she's not actually in anything, I think, until like the game after. I know at some point her actual soul gets back in the body, and then New gets a new body or whatever. But like, yeah, Lambda's not in anything for ages. Like even when she's playable, it's not actually Lambda. It's the weird that fucking story, dude. Yeah, Blaze Blue, man, it's, there's some good shit in there, though, but there's some dumb shit in there, too. Okay, that is Jack. Oh, God, I remember this stage. It's Jack, and then you fight Hohenheim. We did not bring a good team for this. I really wish I had not cast this ability right here. Oh, boy. Well, I really wish Solom, was, MP5. We need to murder a child is what I'm getting at here. We need to put the kid to bed here. Talking about me, yeah, you're the main antagonist of the first BlazBlue game, didn't you know? Why even bother healing? Yeah, it could buy us some time here. Brave Chain. Arcade took the pants. I don't know what to do about it, chat. Still pretty solid damage. If we could have double NP, we'd have gotten that double curse damage boost with 2 curses. That probably would have killed her. Okay, buff removal. Not really on the unit that mattered though, so I don't really care. Shut up, phone. I think I taunt and then I invulnerability someone else next turn. I think the Buster Chain with attack is actually the most damage I can do. If this doesn't kill, the dot will, and I think this will kill. I lied, but the dot's got that. Cast evade! Do it! Ah, you bitch. That'd have been so good if she cast evade and then just died to the dot. I guess this one has higher stats, but this one has more health. We'll save them both. Maybe I should have saved that though for what's his name, Hohenheim. I am so mad about arcade, dude. Like, I normally do not get mad about the arcade stuff because most of it is like pretty detached or just alternate versions of things, right? But them getting Tiamat is so dumb because like that was such a requested thing, and she's from the mobile version of the game, right? And like she doesn't like it's so dumb. Like, it's so dumb, dude. Like that is the first thing they did that pissed me off. Like all the other stuff they did not piss me off. That was dumb. Like that was fucking dumb. And I didn't mind it when it was just Kid Tiamat, but then when I saw that her third stage was just regular adult Tiamat, I'm like, okay, well, he can go die now. I guess this is war. Tiamat is still on the requested list on the requested servants on the survey. I bet you a lot of people are probably going to do that. I saw more backlash for that than any other thing they've done with arcade. Watch now, like mobile gets the weird version of Tiamat. Because everyone thought that the arcade one was weird because kid version, but then stage 3 was just normal, so they'll do like space Tiamat or something. Okay, those Lancers probably hit really hard because they're gold. Do I art chain? Yep. Maybe I should kill the Lancers because I've got a rider in the back. Oh god, I have Geronimo in the back. That was a mistake. Damn it, I was so hoping that wouldn't happen. This might be an L. We'll see. Looking pretty tough. I may need to work on the Lancers just because, like, I don't have a back row that can deal with them. There was a thing that I predicted as a joke and it actually happened and chat got mad at me, I remember, but I forget what it was. But there was something that, like, as a joke, I was like, watch them do X, and then it happened. I know there was them buffing Luvia, but that wasn't it. It was something like negative. It was something like an arcade or whatever. Some like, you know, what meant space this or whatever. But yeah, I do remember the Luvia thing, but that was different. Alright, we have Alex. Okay. Oh yeah, we don't have Bodica though, so this is it. This is all we have. Oh boy. Geronimo versus Lancer. I don't know about this one. Okay, this is not looking good, boys. Actually surprised Geronimo killed that. Can he do it again? Chad, is he the hero we need? Just when we need him most, he disappears. Stop hitting Alex! That Lancer has hit Alex twice. I could have impeded and gotten the heal for Alex, and he's like, life drain, lol. God damn it, dude. We'd have full health. We'd have full health from Geronimo. Well, this is not looking great. So if we could just kill that guy, that wouldn't have happened. I think we're gonna lose. We'll see. Maybe if we land the charm. Well, we are dead. We are definitely dead. That's it. We need to bring something else in the middle. That'll help. Oh shit, that's not enough. That's not enough. That crit though. Good try, kiddo. That was the extra attack, but it's actually probably does more damage than his NP because AoE, single target. Also, his NP sucks. Well, we got an owl, boys. I did not realize that was a boss fight. Alright, what do we want to bring? Probably just one Salome. Maybe... Jason? That seems okay. Probably not Leonidas. Two riders would be ideal, I think. Do I think I need... could I get away with no caster? Kind of depends on how slow people die. What about a berserker? I just want to deal with those lancers. I wonder if I can ascend Blood Axe because I actually like his guts for this. Let me go check. Imagine if this was Arc Knights and I could just click this, right? And then, like, you know, level him here. Like in this UI, level up skills here. Like, why? Why can't we use this UI to do literally anything useful? Oh man, the double success thing is about to go away. I don't have enough, okay. Could just bring Jason again. Yeah, that's probably better. What's CE's though? He just needs oomph. Just like, I don't need his NP, I just need to have him smack things. Alright. Yeah, I'll probably wrap up after this stage. Been streaming for a while. I don't know if I'll do Dark Souls today. I want to, but I'm having a lot of breathing problems today, and I find if I'm having, like, if I can't breathe super good, I find it's better if I don't talk a lot, and so I might just chill. We'll see. See how I feel when we're done here. I do like streaming Dark Souls, but sometimes you just gotta take it easy. Alright, definitely want to do this right off the bat. Do we need the art chain? I mean, we don't need it, but it's good, so... I really wish we had killed that. Ugh. Wow, Mash getting beat on. I think I guess... Oh, hold on. Okay, we want to Mash NP. Trying to think if we heal Nash or not. Maybe not. See that? Nah, I think we'll heal her because we can use the taunt later and stuff. Okay. Maybe I should have art chained there for Jason, but I don't think he's gonna need it. That is so ugly. Like that NP, dude. That should kill. And these guys hit pretty hard. Damn it. She didn't do quite as much as I was thinking there. Oh, that's not good. Wow, why you gotta crit so much? That wasted turn to my buffs too. Dang. That turn wasn't even productive. Mashing to gain is useless right now. Like, if Jason had gotten cards, I would have been okay with that, but that ultimately was a nothing turn. Yeah, they've got like the old animations for the Guadia bit. It's not that one though. I think I taunt and hope Mash doesn't die. And then invulnerability after. Murder! Come on! The Mash versus Salter bit is so bad for new players, dude. It looks atrocious. Oh yeah, I don't think it updates Mash's Ascension art unless you do it manually. I didn't even think of that. I don't think we even have our stage 3 yet though. Maybe someday. People always get mad at me because I use her in stage 3 and not stage 4. I'm like, please. I do that. Like, I need Jason not to die here so he can evade next turn. Hell, maybe I have him evade himself. Yep. What's the play here? I guess that, because I need to do damage and I need to get his NP, I think. Yeah, I've had a few people that are like, why don't you just mash his 4th stage when she's in 3rd stage? And be like, if you're gonna use your 3rd stage, why not use your 4th stage? All the time. I've got YouTube comments. There's a guy in my chat a long time ago that didn't get it. But yeah, she gets a sword and doesn't use it, but, you know. Video games. Man, if we dude, them laughing together, that's funny, dude. That's funny. I need to get that to happen again, put that in a video or something. That's great. Anyway, if we could kill this turn, that'd be amazing, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Yeah, I don't know, they might have to use the sword eventually. I don't think it's anything special, but who knows, maybe it's some secret Galahad NP that isn't unlocked or some nonsense, which there's no way they thought of that back in the day, but is there a way I can kill all 3 of them here? Because that would be really good. We would need, quite the turn for that to happen. Can Jason do 2k at neutral? I'll say yes. Come on, champ. You son of a bitch! That was so close! Oh my god, it's all ruined. Well, someone's gonna fucking die. Oh, maybe not. That was lucky. Although it would have been nice that, you know, we didn't lose the shield and stuff, but man, we could have had a triple kill there. That'd have been amazing. Alright, at least we got an arcane. That's not too bad. It kind of makes up for it. Although I doubt Jason is going to live long enough to NP a second time. Alright, we're definitely in better shape than last time. So I have Jason heal himself. Yeah. He's about to get his NP because the deck shuffled in a very generous way. I think I saved that heal for a writer. That was very lucky. We got 4 Jason art cards in a row, essentially. Thank goodness he didn't die there. Just in case he doesn't kill these, I'm gonna target them. Like if they just... I don't think they'll live, but... He's in P5. He's got the art up. But if they get like a tiny bit of health, it's worth using a card to kill them. Alright. This is looking really good now. Man, if she can live, then it's amazing. Because with extra MP on him. There we go. Yeah, we got this in the bag. No problem. Boudica even gets the art chain here. Man, Boudica's third skill would be really nice here, actually. Well, there she goes. She did her job and then some, though. And she's doing damage from the grave. Alright, no problem. I think we still have evade. And his MP is not AoE right now, it's a single target. You know what? We'll give Jason the heal so he can evade somebody. So look at this team. Boudica, Jason, Alex. Greed. He's probably dead. Oh yeah, he's dead. Alright, much better than last time. That was the first stage though, that was a little bit difficult. Alright, there is our Bond 4, which is I think what we needed. So we can do his upgrade quest. Alright, I think we'll wrap up there. You know what I want to do at some point, chat? I don't know if I'm going to do this today, just because time, but what I'd like to do is sometimes when, like, maybe I want to do some extra streaming or maybe play Dark Souls, but I don't want to do, like, a full-on stream and I don't want to, like, talk a lot. What I might do is, like, do a Discord stream, right? Because you can do that. You can set up a channel where people can watch you, right? But the channel's muted. Then you can make a chat on the side. I can make, like, a, you know, Discord stream chat. And so I'll talk in the chat, right? And people, so for like the few people that want to just, you know, hang out and like I could play other games too that like maybe aren't suitable for doing a full-on stream. And because I think the expectations would be different there, right? I don't need to, you know, if I'm tired and I can't, you know, talk a lot, you know, I can do that. I think that's a good idea. I don't see why not. And I think that'd get me to, you know, play around with some different games. Yeah, that seems like a good time. I'll probably set that up for the next day or two. Yeah, that should be good. Alright, let's see if we got any last second stuff we need to take care of here. Do FP summon. Who do we need? I mean, most of the stuff that is actually usable is not MP5, so... Well, can't use Medusa, but Matahari I don't think was MP5 yet. But we're not going to use her until Guadia, I don't think. Alright lads, I think that's it for today. Thank you for hanging out. We kicked some ass. We got past the Demon God, which that was a huge relief. We got a nice chunk of London done there. Let's see, I don't think Cairo is streaming. Who are we gonna raid here? I don't know if I'm gonna play Monster Hunter Rise. I feel like I'd rather just play World, really. I'm not sure they changed enough for me to really care, but I don't know, I'll look into it more. But kind of expensive, so I'm not like jumping to buy the big AAA games unless they really interest me. But like some of the aesthetic and stuff in Rise, I kind of like less than World. We will raid Fino because he raided us the other day, so that's only fair, and he's a good guy. Looks like he's playing the main story on NA or something. Alright, go get him, boys. And take care. Prototype music, by the way. Collab win.